Hail adventurers, welcome back to the Wyvern's Lair. I am DM Wyvern and I'm returning to the grand sandbox adventure that is Dwarf Fortress. This is episode 2 and we're going to be doing things a little bit differently for our second session in Dwarf Fortress. So for episode 1 we took our first steps into adventure mode and clearly had no idea what we were doing and the significance of what we were experiencing in Dwarf Fortress. This is actually a really deep game with a rich development history and a lot going on under the hood that I, as someone who's not really too familiar with this game, can express. So I reached out to a really good friend of mine, Argembarger, who will be joining us live on stream. Argembarger is someone I had the honor and pleasure of actually working with in a different age, in a different land. And we've remained in touch. I consider him a good friend, and he spent a good long while as a Mountain King in Dwarf Fortress. So he's going to bring an expertise and knowledge about this game that I simply don't have. And I think it could be, helpful for everyone who will be joining us in Dwarf Fortress episodes of the future to get an understanding of what this very cool game has to offer. So, we are going to go ahead and meet up with Argembarger, aka Tom, and start the session and get underway here. Let me go get him. Tom, my good friend, how are you? Can you hear me? Go ahead and do a quick little thing here. Let me know if you can hear me, Tom. You should be able to hear me. Testing 1, testing 2. Okay, I can see your video. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen so you can see what's happening in Dwarf Fortress. I can't hear you for some reason, Tom. Your audio is not coming through for me. Go ahead and lower the game volume a little bit.
There we go, maybe? Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
got it.
Loud and clear. Good.
Found the right setting, yep.
Hey, Tom,
cool.
It's really, really good to hear your voice. It's been a minute.
Yeah, back at you. Oh, it's been a wild year. It's been just very heads down, working hard, kind of just picking away at my tasks like a dwarf in the fortress. Like I got my shirt on for the occasion. It's a good one.
Very, very nice. Let me see your shirt. I actually don't have your video up on stream. I don't have a 2-monitor setup, but
that's okay.
But let me take a look at and see what you got rocking there.
Oh yeah.
Dive into your video. Let me see. I'm obviously a Discord newbie. For some reason, I can't pull up your video anymore. That's weird.
Oh, interesting.
But what are you wearing? Describe it for our adventurers here.
It's like a dwarf fort. It's a dwarf fortress. I don't know if somebody just made it. Like I'm not sure where the shirt came from, but it's got like a barrel and a pickaxe. It's like line art.
Oh my goodness!
Little bottle of booze.
Do you know where I could?
I don't. Yeah, let me see if I can find an image of it.
Sure.
It's a fun shirt, like Dwarf Fortress inspired, but it just says engineer, noun, a stalwart creature fond of drink and industry.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It's got like the Dwarf Fortress style description. Yeah.
That's perfect.
So.
That's absolutely perfect. Yeah, we're not doing anything on stream in the way of featuring guests on camera, but in the future, I hope to do more of that.
At the very least, I'm one who's ready for that to happen. If
right.
Necessary, but all good. I'll just spare the internet the bandwidth of the camera feed because you can't see me anyway. So all good.
Gotcha. Let me go ahead and extend a shout out to our Knight of the Banhammer, Gabriel Rodriguez, joining us all the way from Brazil with the dinosaur emojis. Good to have you here, Gabriel Rodriguez. We also got T-Dub saying, how is this game going? We'll find out, T-Dub. We are just getting started here. Tom, so good to reconnect with you. Once again, as I said at the top of the stream, nothing but, the warmest feelings towards you in our time together in that different age and different land. So tell us a little bit about, your history with Dwarf Fortress. When did you first discover this game, and how long have you been playing it?
Oh, wow. So it's interesting. When I was always, kind of into video games, but like when I was in high school and such, I was more leaning towards like humanities. I was doing a lot of history, a lot of like civics, and I was gonna go into law probably. Like that was sort of the plan. Is like try to do some kind of history-based pre-law track. But I also had I have like a connective tissue disorder that I was born with, and one of the consequences of that was I had like a pretty massive underbite. And well, I had heard of Dwarf Fortress when I was growing. I didn't never really get a chance to play it because I was just busy with college and like starting college and like kind of just the transition between high school and college. But I ended up having like jaw surgery to correct my underbite, and I was wired up for several weeks. And Dwarf Fortress actually just became my sort of like focus. Like, okay, now I'm literally laid up. I have a bunch of time. Like I could read some novels or like, catch up on like classic movies. But I'm like, okay, how about this game Dwarf Fortress I've heard so much about? Like I basically took that time of just being basically stuck in an easy chair recovering from jaw surgery to just get over the learning cliff of learning the game. And especially at the time, pre-Steam, it was only available in the original like ASCII, and the community worked really hard to make it approachable as a game for people. So the community would like sort of supported and maintained something called like the Lazy Noob Pack, which is something you could download at the time to like add some more visual graphics to the game and kind of do some other quality of life and helpful things. Like it came with a copy of Dwarf Therapist, which is probably the most essential tool for like actually seeing a fortress past like the starting 7. And I just kind of immersed myself in it. I watched a lot of videos from this one YouTuber named Captain Duck, who had a really good tutorial series of how to play Fortress mode. So I watched that. I started making my own fortresses and just really got fascinated by the emergent, like, just the way that the simple mathematical rules can like create a compelling fantasy world with all these independent creatures running around. And that really like turned my brain on to like the potential of like software and like the information science in general. Like, what is information actually? Like, how is this game like simulating these kinds of details of like this fantasy world? Like, it just got me really fascinated in computer science in general, and I'd say pretty much got me to change my major. It's just a very transformative experience playing Dwarf Fortress. Yeah. So the whole alternate timeline where I'm like a lawyer, probably a public defender somewhere, slugging it away. I don't know. Yeah, the game definitely changed my life for the better, I think.
That's amazing, Tom. The fact that the intricacies of Dwarf Fortress got you intrigued with how this is achieved and how someone would go about coding a game like this, and took you on that path that led you to your career as a software engineer. That's amazing.
Yeah,
also, for those of you,
it does all spring from like like a handful of minds, like. And the primary mind being not like a computer programmer first and foremost. I mean, they were like math and physics heavy. They were doing like research in multi-dimensional spaces, like mathematical like fabrics and stuff, and really high level stuff, but they just didn't want to be a professor. They just wanted to make video games. They started making video games, and Dwarf Fortress was like, maybe the dozenth game that they started on, and then they just haven't finished. They've just been working on it ever since they started making it.
Yeah, that's another remarkable thing about Dwarf Fortress, is that this game has been under development for decades now, and with each passing year, just like your own sort of player world in Dwarf Fortress, it gets richer and deeper. I'm going to go ahead and share a link to Captain Duck's tutorials. They're still available on YouTube, so for those of you who are tuning in, there it is.
Yeah, don't know if they've updated for like the newer versions, but at the time, like the 2012, 2016 area is invaluable. Yeah, I think a lot of players became like got enough of a grasp of the fortress mode to like, because once you get enough of a grasp of it, and you get that those sparks, and you can get like maintain a little fire that stays alive, it becomes a lot more compelling when you can get like years, keep it running for years and see what kind of trouble befalls you in the future.
Ah.
Another thing I really got attached to the game was because there's like a series of podcast interviews with the creator. It's like dozens of hours, like probably hundreds of hours of just talking about their plans for the game, like what they have yet to do and what they're like working towards. It's really fascinating. Like the those DF talks, I think they're called. That I don't know if where they're hosted these days, but there's a lot of DF talks, TALKs, and they're just like really fascinating deep dive in like where game dev meets just like basic understanding of like systems in reality, and like very inspiring to just be like, oh yeah, you just have a 4-hour deep dive on different night creatures and what does it mean for the game to have like evil in the world, and we want it to manifest as like certain mythological like fantasy creatures, and just all these great conversations.
Yeah,
lots of content there.
And so I've shared both the links to the early tutorials from Captain Duck that helped Tom get a handle on Dwarf Fortress when he discovered the game. There as a point of history. I also shared a link from Bay 12 Games, which is in fact the developer label for Dwarf Fortress now, and their Dwarf Talks.
It's not their only, like, they've knocked it out of the park before. I mean, I think nothing's really grasped the world's attention like Dwarf Fortress, but even their earlier projects are like, they're each notable for one reason or another. They're all very innovative, very raw games. Like my personal I'll just list 2 games that are not Dwarf Fortress that are like the most worth checking out. Is there's a game called World War I Medic, where you play as, it's like a early cabinet arcade game style of graphics, like pixel art on like just like those really old school arcade games. And you just are in one trench, and there's an enemy trench, and you're the medic. You don't have a weapon. You can duck and crawl. You can walk in 4 directions, and you can bandage people and carry them. And there's so many surprising details that come out of it. Is like, there's the planes make strafing runs and drop like toxic gas, and there are charges, bayonet charges, and the only way to like progress in the game is to just outlast you're healing people and bringing them back to your side. It allows more people to spawn, and the other side has a medic too, so they have an AI medic trying to do all this. So it's like ridiculous. Like if it was an arcade game, it would have been like 1 layer deep, and you're like, you're shooting the bad guys. Like this is like, oh, you can't. The only way to win is to help your like the other NPCs on your side win, and it's brutal. The high scores table is brutal because it always remembers exactly how you died, and it shows all kinds of how many trenches you made it through. Because if you do manage to do that, it just goes to trench 2, and it's the same exact game over again. So it's like the despair of war, of it like never ends. Like there's no end. So it's like just really understated brilliance, I think there.
It also sounds like it provides the same sort of rich storytelling experience that Dwarf Fortress provides. For those of you interested to learn more about the team, you can click on About DF, and it will actually give you information about the team that has worked on this game over the last 2 decades. So it's created by Tarn and Zach Adams, but obviously has been supported by an immense community over the years. Artwork is several people, and if you scroll on down, it's being published currently by Kitbox Games.
These are all pretty much all of these are like the people who work on this Steam version, because the Steam version is actually just so he continues to build the original game as he always has, and
which is completely for free.
Interface. It's purely view and controller, yeah, but the model is, if you go download the free version right now, it's going to be the most up-to-date version of like the underlying game model, with the original interface and everything. So they just try to keep up. They're just trying to keep up as like a separate endeavor to like have the Steam version with all these fancy, because it's so hard to like add a game feature when your like character is able to do like dozens of things at any given time in the game state. Like, how do you provide an interface for that? Even we just have like your keyboard with each of its keys. Like, you got 30 things you can do right now. Like, so to make a visual interface for that and keep it maintained, like if you make a change to like the mechanic or add a new one, like you got to change the whole interface, and it's a lot of drag on the development process. So that's why you can still play the original game for free, because it's so fast to iterate on that core, just pure like ASCII art zero interface game.
Yeah, and that's the interesting thing about Dwarf Fortress is that for almost the entirety of its history, it has been free. It remains free if you're willing to sort of, put up with the ASCII presentation. But if you want sort of a more modern representation of Dwarf Fortress, you can buy it off Steam. I like the special thanks here. It says, thank you to all our supporters over the years and everybody who has helped out in the forum and elsewhere to keep the project afloat these 2 decades.
Absolutely.
Well, we are not to spend 2 decades on our preamble. I think we should get started. But before we do, we have a question from our adventurers here in the live stream chat. T-Dub says, is this co-op? And Kaya Toshi says, closest thing to co-op in this game is save sharing. Do you want to talk a little bit about that, Tom?
Yeah, and actually, I think the free, or like I remember there being, so if you were able to do it sort of locally, where it would sort of mirror, like you could have 2 computers on a LAN. I remember this being possible in like 2017. So maybe not for the Steam version, but you could have 2 computers on a LAN. One of them would be running the real file, the other would just be a mirror into it and like inputting your commands and stuff. So you'd run into problems where you collide with each other, but like that's really the only way. Like, and so yeah, the traditional method has been to like pass saves around, so each person gets a turn being in command. But the community has definitely been trying to make like a simultaneous mirrored kind of interface with the game. You'd also be surprised because I know there are 3D renderers that are like good at, like, at least at the time they could run while the game was running, so they could just update their view of the game in real time. So the community's wild. The community loves Dwarf Fortress. Dwarf Fortress is very moddable, so it's data driven, so all the entities in the world, like the world generation is just a set of config files, and the entities that it can create are just config files, so you can define your own entities with their own behaviors. You could, like, civilizations with their own unique cultures. So you see a lot of like total conversion mods of Dwarf Fortress for lots of different like fiction universes and different different video games and things. So kind of fascinating to see what people are willing to do. Just replace every entity in the world with like Mario creatures or put it all in space.
So, along that line of thought, T-Dub, I'm absolutely willing to safe share my campaign in Dwarf Fortress with well, actually, no, I'm absolutely willing to share it outright. There is going to be no caveat. But, ideally, what I would love to see is, friends of the community who are content creators themselves take my world, play in it, and then send the save back to me with the world, like, kind of changed, if you will. In fact, Tom wanted to do something like that at our place of work. The idea was to pass off the Dwarf Fortress from team member to team member and have the fortress evolve over the course of time like that. And I think that's a really fascinating idea and something that I'd love to explore with content creators who are part of the Wyvern's Lair community. That would be exciting, actually.
Yeah, that's a real fun thing to do. The different levels of like passing along a single fortress, and like you said, passing like the world as a whole on, because one of the joys of the game is when the fortress ends, it's still in the world as a ruin, or whatever end befell it is actually continuing to get simulated, and so like having, especially a great thing to pass around is like a very small world. So you generate like a micro sized world, a pocket world, so that it's more likely to run into each other's things, just purely for that reason. And then yeah, just like, yeah, see a whole fortress through to a ruin, and then pass it on, and then eventually you just can travel around and just find all these different emergent, like, just histories coded into this game from what people chose to do with their time. The original, actually the original end state, like the whole idea, the Dwarf Fortress was originally designed as like almost an, not, it'd be a very long arcade experience, but almost like an arcade experience where the entire game loop is like you build the fortress until it ends, and then part 2 of the game is explicitly you enter the same fortress as an adventurer and try to maximize how much treasure you're like, how much like golden value, like how much value you're able to extract from the remains of the fortress. So
Oh,
that
that's
was
brilliant.
that was gonna be the original, that was gonna be the original end. Yeah, like you win and you get your high score goes on the board of how much treasure your adventurer got out of the fortress that you made.
I had no
So
idea. I think that's a fascinating game loop and something that you actually can achieve today with Dwarf Fortress and Adventurer Mode, which is available over the Steam beta branch. Are you ready, Tom? Should we go ahead and
ready.
create a new world?
Let's do it.
All right.
Also, just classic like Dungeons and Dragons DM helper tool. Like, you want a random continent? Like, it's so easy.
That's true. Histories of Gluttony and Diligence. Let's dive in. Welcome to Dwarf Fortress. I'm going to go ahead and read this again for those joining. Prepare to guide your stout charges to fortune in a world fraught with many perils. You'll begin by creating your world and watching the region's history unfold. Once this process is complete, you can prepare a group and send them out to seek wealth deep in the mountains. As you dig deeper and more citizens take up residence in your outposts, your doings will attract attention, both wanted and unwanted. Deal with challenges as they arise, and you might one day find that your humble settlement has grown to become a mountain hope, the center of your civilization. Alright, so I have a vision for this world, Tom. I'd like the world map size to be large, and
Sure.
let's go ahead and describe this for people. So there's actually a very handy wiki for Dwarf Fortress that sort of really helps you understand what these choices may mean for you. So it's the World Generation wiki, and so let me see if I can find the keys here.
The
So
wiki is crucial. Like for anybody starting the game, just have a tab of the wiki open, and
right, so
you'll come to rely on it for almost everything.
So, world size results in a certain number of region tiles. Pocket is a 17 by 17 region tile. World large is 257 by 257. So that sort of helps you understand the world size.
I think also, if I'm not mistaken, I believe large gives you both polar caps, like, whereas medium is like just one hemisphere. So you get like the equator to the poles. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that's the case. And then pocket is almost just like one continent, basically.
Gotcha.
One specific continent. So
Gotcha.
that is a difference. Yeah, if you want, I think large will give you both a north and south pole, so you'll have a whole world. Kind of fun.
For civilizations, I think we're going to go with history length. History length is also very impactful. And there's actually no quick sort of look at sort of quick description of what history length impacts in the world generation section on the wiki. But would you like to talk a little bit about what history length does for the game?
Exactly. So at the 0 year upon creation, the world is basically just basically the land, the sea, and it starts dumping rain, like running weather, doing erosion, and like calculating all the stuff for like just time passing. But like the main crux of what the history is going to affect is if you want to experience, because a lot of the original megafauna will eventually get hunted out by the civilizations. So the world is set up to naturally undergo a progression from like these original civilization starting sites, which are, I believe each of the civilizations starts with like a leader and like 20 pairs of starting creatures in like a tiny little village. But they will get, hunted by the megafauna. As the game calculates the history, you'll have things like, the son of a farmer who got killed by the local, the local beast of whatever kind, the titan or like a dragon, will kill somebody's family and they'll grow up an orphan, but their character as like a historical figure will be like, oh, I hate that beast, I want to go kill it. So that leads NPCs to like choose in the historical calculation, like, oh, I'm gonna go become a hero and I'm gonna go slay the dragon. And eventually, over enough time, all of the mythical beasts of legend will get hunted out, and you'll just have whatever civilizations are left in sort of like an age of like. So the game describes what's going on in the world by calling it the age of whatever. So it always starts at the age of myth, around creation, when the power is tilted towards the beasts and all of the scary stuff, and then as the civilizations take over, it moves towards like the age of, it depends, like if there's a lot of war going on or if all the civilizations are at peace, could call it like the age of plenty, or like, the age of dwarves if the dwarves take over, or the age of the void, or the age of nothing if like you end up with like a cataclysm that eliminates all life on your little planet. Some players have actually experimented and found that if they go into adventure mode and methodically eliminate all the life on their world, it becomes like the age of emptiness, and like the game responds to what they did as an adventurer, like reclassifies the world's history and like ushers in a new age to describe it. So really cool. And yeah, 500 years is going to take a long time to calculate. That's something that's been increasing as the game's been developed. It used to be like 2,000 years was actually the longest option, but nowadays that would actually be like trying to mine for Bitcoin, like genuinely, because the more the complexity rises, it's doing all these little decisions on every little world entity. So 500 years is aggressive. We'll see how long it takes. If we do end up having to wait too long, I can just jump in, or we can jump in with a different already cooked world. I think it will take a long time though. Like genuinely, I don't think it's bluffing. Because
Gotcha.
it's really fascinating.
Gotcha.
The civilizations are modeled in a hybrid of population pool and historical figure. So if basically, if there are no historical figures in a town, then when you visit it, it'll gin some up. Like whoever you talk to, it'll be like, okay, we have a historical figure now. Like something important happened, and we have to track this person now. So that's sort of how it works. And if the population pool runs out, then yeah, you'll visit and there will be nobody there because everybody's dead. So there is no spawning after creation. Nothing gets spawned, and everything is based on the history that led to it being there.
That is fascinating. So one thing that I forgot to mention, that world size affects a very important entity in your world. That is the number of forgotten beasts. What is a forgotten beast, Tom?
Yeah, forgotten beasts. There's sort of two categories of megafauna in Dwarf Fortress. There are the classic ones, which are almost like hard-coded, where they're like, okay, we got titans, we got like cyclops, we got dragon, we got colossus, like a living statue creature. Then the forgotten beasts are a different category, where they are generated based on random templates, and they primarily are spawned into the underground layers of the world. And basically they are much more unpredictable. You can get some crazy stuff with forgotten beasts. versus just like the classic megafauna where yeah, you kind of know what you're gonna get. You're gonna get a bronze colossus, or you're gonna get a um like a giant or something. But like the forgotten beasts are like, oh yeah, random animal table of body parts and random table. It's like literally rolling on D100 tables of like of terrible stuff. So one of the community loves documenting some of the worst ones they've ever seen. Like you get a forgotten beast that's like a giant platypus made out of lava that emits a toxic powder that causes like the flesh of creatures to slough off their body, and your dwarves will like encounter it and they'll be terrified, they'll get blasted, and they'll run back home because they got blasted by the toxic dust, and they'll spread the dust all over your fortress, and it's like it's a bad scene. But sometimes a forgotten beast is like some kind of fluffy kitten made out of cotton candy, and it's super friendly. Like it's unpredictable. Like they might have good personalities because good and evil are concretely modeled, and the mega beasts and forgotten beasts will align with good and evil. So sometimes you'll get lucky, it'll be a good aligned forgotten beast and just hangs out and helps protect your fortress from the underground. But usually not. Usually more often they are neutral, and that means that they are probably just hungry. And there's a way to the surface now because you dug one up, like you dwarven idiot, and that's sort of the fun of the game, like digging in and finding the scary stuff underground, and also finding the cool stuff.
Can adventurers take on forgotten beasts, or is that not part of?
Yeah, they could. Yeah, totally. Yeah. You sort of need, if you have a fortress where you're trying to take one on, you sort of need your military to be comprised of like heroic level soldiers. So you plan your military and set up your training facilities and stuff to get your dwarves up to fighting shape, and make it so they won't have fear when they are charging a forgotten beast. But yeah, sometimes they have supernatural terror effects, and they will just scare all but the most legendary, hardened, heroic, characters. So you never know what you're gonna get. You just gotta read their descriptions, and the descriptions always tell you exactly what they can do. So, usually, as long as you read the descriptions, you're never gonna get surprised by like a blast of, terrifying flesh-eating dust.
Got you. Thank you for helping us understand what forgotten beasts may be as we play through the game. And just as a little note here, given the fact we're going with our large world size, that means that our world will be generated with 867 forgotten beasts. A fair number of them. Next up, we're going to choose our number of civilizations. So we're going to choose low, and that's going to result in a total number of civilizations upon world generation at 20. Now, civilizations represent various races that you can encounter in Dwarf Fortress, like dwarves, humans, goblins, kobolds, and elves, and it can also represent different kingdoms of the same race. So, anything else you'd like to add there about number of civilizations?
I think if you go into detailed mode, which you don't have to stay in detailed mode, but you might want to hit the button down there just to look at it real quick, because it's kind of interesting. Mm-hmm. But I believe in detailed mode, it's a combination of density, civilization density, and civilization variety. I might be down pretty far. Detailed mode is scary. I don't like to look at it. But some players are nuts, and they will go really just crafting the exact perfect world they're looking for. Number of civilizations. So there's you can set the required minimums. You can generate a world where there are no playable civilizations if you want to. But I think number of civilizations. I thought there was there in the free. I remember it was two sliders. It was variety and density. So I guess maybe they rolled it together and. Because it might be possible that you just don't get one of the races available because it just happened not to roll one. So that's the only thing to really watch out for. But it's kind of annoying having, the fewer you have, the longer the world should stay in a kind of mythic age, because there'll just be more wilderness and hostile wilderness that's difficult for the civilizations to like build roads through and do trade with each other and stuff.
Gotcha. Now, another important, attribute for world generation is your sites. What I didn't really understand when I first created my initial world is that sites can range from anything from a camp to a vault and everything in between. I'm just going to go ahead and quickly sort of rattle off what you could experience as a site. Camps, caves, dark fortresses, dark pits, forest retreats, fortresses, castles, forts, hamlets, hillocks, labyrinths, lairs, monasteries, mountain halls, ruins, shrines, tombs, towers, and towns. So it's advised in world generation that if you want a lot of potential sites to experience in adventure mode, you're going to want a high number of sites. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to choose, we're going to go with high. Anything else you'd like to add about sites here?
Yeah, I think having high sites is good. I think these represent both like what the world starts with. So like there's always some like evidence of ancient civilization before the world gen. And then it's also like I think it just is a slider on how aggressively civilizations will like create, built structures. And so it's pretty interesting. There's I wonder if I don't know if that slider affects some of the underground structures, and kind of underneath the underground. Even if you go all the way to the bottom, there are some special things. I don't know if they would be considered sites in the same way, but essentially the hell of the world can have demonic fortresses. Spoiler. That's the classic spoiler of Dwarf Fortress, and the community refers to reaching the very bottommost layer as opening the clown car. They refer to the demons as clowns coming out of the clown car because they are innumerable. There will be so many of them, and they are all extremely powerful. And they will often take over a world. So if a fortress does that, they can usher in a new era where the demons have overrun everything and have taken over all of the world. It's kind of scary.
That is frightening. All right, so that is sites for you. Next up, we're going to take a look at number of beasts. And Tom already kind of mentioned something about different sort of mega creatures in Dwarf Fortress. So this controls the number of, and these are all different categories, mega beasts, semi-mega beasts, and titans that exist at the beginning of the world. Anything else you'd like to add there about beasts, Tom?
Yeah, I forgot they call them semi-mega beasts. Those are the ones that are just based on classic myth. Tropes like titans and things. And I think very high. Yeah, it's basically just gonna. It's possible with these sliders to set it up so some of the civilizations just get wiped when they start because it's just like overwhelming. Like the next slider too, like the savagery slider, has a big impact on that. But just interesting. Like both when the beasts are created, at World Gen, aside from starting just with the topography and starting to run water simulations on it, it also creates like a basic cosmology around it. So there are gods defined, randomly generated, and a lot of the semi-mega beasts and mega beasts, often they will have some kind of alignment with one of the deities that are generated for whatever reason. Sometimes it's arbitrary, but sometimes they're like directly trying to fulfill the will of that deity. So pretty interesting ways. Like there's no cosmology slider here, but the game is doing that in the background. So that kind of from a top down kind of dictates the sort of what the beasts are about in some cases. Sometimes they're just mindless beasts, but sometimes they're like they are like trying to intervene in the matters of the world on behalf of their deity. So you never know what you're going to get.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that beasts can actually be aligned with different powers in your world. Adventurers, please join me in welcoming our fellow adventurer and longtime friend Baraz, saying, why everyone sounds so different today? Yeah, Baraz, I'm joined by my good friend Argembarger, a.k.a. Tom, who is a Dwarf Fortress master here. Master Dwarf, showing us the ropes around this incredible sandbox. So we just talked through a number of beasts. The next thing we're going to take a look at is natural savagery, which basically dictates the number of savage biomes in your world. And it reads as such: increasing the value increases the number of savage biomes in the world. In short, this means that more areas are likely to have aggressive animals which may try to kill dwarves immediately upon embark and attack dwarves more often while traveling. Turn this up to make the game more fun. So obviously we're going to turn that up. So that is what that is. Then for mineral occurrence, I kind of want minerals to be rare in this world. So we're going to go ahead and set that. And it basically dictates, the type of ores that you could find. So, obviously the more valuable the ore, the more rare it will be in this world. I think it can make for a fun, challenging world full of high adventure. What do you think, Tom?
Yeah, I think my understanding. My understanding is that in our planet corresponds, like our planet Earth. My understanding is it corresponds with, I forget if it's rare or sparse, but it's like, I don't know, it's one of those, definitely, I think rare and sparse are the more realistic options, and you just want to take care when you're embarking, because if you lack certain minerals, then you'll be unable to make certain, just certain components of higher level smithing and things. So like, for instance, you need in order to make steel properly, you need, besides iron and like coal, you also need something like dolomite or another like limestone heavy mineral. So yeah, it means the lower that slider, the more care you want to take when you embark, or else you're going to need to import components for your basic crafting needs.
I was just about to say, can you actually trade with other civilizations for the ores that you need?
Yeah, you can trade with other civilizations. You also have a connection to your mountain home, where every year you get basically an opportunity to request things from the mountain home that they will bring. They'll trade for you for above market price, of course, because you asked for it and you demonstrated demand. But they'll guarantee that it's in the shipment, so kind of an interesting mechanic. You can be like, yeah, we need dolomite, and they'll be like, oh yeah, you do, don't you? And then they bring you a lot of dolomite, and it's all like twice as expensive as you would want it to be. But yeah, you get to do, and the goods that you send out will then go to those civilizations, and if they have an armory in the town, then the iron that you traded to them could get made into an actual object. You never know. Could get made into a sword that has a key role in a battle, and they give it a name. So it's wild. Just the history and all the little things that cause the game to start keeping track of individual objects rather than just putting it in like a supply pool or whatever. You get like historical figures of NPCs, and you also get like a legendary artifact. And as soon as like an item does something legendary, it actually, the game is happy to do some, like, basically if a sword is used to slay a mega beast and the hero is like, I name this sword whatever, it actually now is a legendary artifact, and it is way stronger than it would have been. So the game does explicitly allow for artifacts and like legendary historical objects, not just people.
That is awesome. I think it's time to discover what our legendary world will be. So let's go ahead and click the create world button.
Yeah, you're giving this world a tough run for it. Let's see what happens. Savagery and beasts everywhere and almost no civilizations.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
I like to see it. The savagery axis, you can actually call it an axis, because along with the good and evil axis, you'll have the savagery axis of low, medium, and high.
I already like the name of our world, the Planet of Legends.
Planet of Legends. I wonder what the rejected one was.
We're counting legends, placing civilizations. There we go. There's the. This is so interesting. Let me go ahead and pause it.
Oh, that's actually, it's zooming.
The Age of Myth, year 68, historical figures. So what is historical figures?
It has actually stopped you and is saying, do you like this world so far? Would you like to continue? What is, did you say a historical figure?
Yes.
Yeah, a historical figure is any character that has generated a tracked history. So that could be like I described earlier, if you have a civilization, you have a population pool, and they may or may not have historical figures, but like let's say a dragon attacks like a villager's house and leaves like one villager alive, that villager would then start getting tracked as a historical figure because the dragon was a historical figure and the dragon did something that created history. So the characters that it did things to, it will generate names for them because the game will be like, well, what were those, what were the names of those peasants that the dragons attacked? And then so they get assigned a name and they officially become a historical figure, even if they choose to do nothing notable after that point, which is very possible. You can have a historical figure that's just like, yeah, but I just like being a farmer. And they are perfectly free to be a historical figure farmer, hang out in their farm and do farming. But often they'll like swear revenge on the dragon or whatnot. And or it'll be like somebody gets generated with a random ambition to take over their civilization, right? So that they will start making choices that kind of pull them out of the general population pool and like will allow them to become a historical figure purely because they have that kind of ambition and they're making moves to try to take over their civilization. Really cool stuff. Like
we got a question here from Kayatoshi for you, Tom. He says, does that mean a named shield becomes immune to dragonfire?
It can. It's not guaranteed, but yeah, certainly if a shield was worn by a hero that slayed a dragon and they got hit with dragonfire, there's a good shot that it'll like be like, yeah, that immunity to dragonfire is like an appropriate effect to imbue on the artifact. So it's like it's like likelier if there's a dragon involved in the creation of the artifact, but it's always possible. So like the tables that it rolls on, or technically anything can happen, but one of the, like I've listened, so my credentials in Dwarf Fortress are basically playing a bunch and also listening to every Dwarf Fortress talk. So I know that one of the underlying motivations of the magic system in Dwarf Fortress is that it's supposed to be inherently like unpredictable. Like it's supposed to be something that you can't fully. So he wants to make it so yeah, you can get a immune to dragonfire shield, but it's not guaranteed. And who knows? It might be cursed. It might. It might make you not want to attack a dragon, or something. Like it might. Magic is very wild in the world, so you never know when there might be a hidden con or even like a curse. So
that I think is a really fun approach to a magic system. I often find that if much as I love Dungeons and Dragons and tabletop role playing, I feel like it takes away the mystery and the excitement and power of magic when it becomes almost sort of like a mechanical function, if you will, like casting fireball is a fireball. But if you're drawing upon a magical source, and that source can result in unpredictable, wild, possible effects or outcomes, that makes it a far more exciting, I think, system for players to engage with. So it's cool that they're taking that direction eventually with a magic system that the developers intend to implement here. I just wanted to point out something for the adventurers here, Tom, before we get back to your feedback here. But if you recall, we chose the number of beasts for this world, and you can already see in the history that is having an impact here. So we can see the dragon Glow-Welty, the pearls of treasure, was struck down by an elf in Hawk Tunnel. So that means that beast no longer will exist.
Made it 44 years.
Correct.
The first dragon to go down.
That's right. The first named beast to be slain in this world.
We actually don't know that because this is an abridged chronicle, so
true.
It's very possible there were other incidents.
And you can see that another dragon, Etog, the tax swelters, the wealthy brand, routed the lonely seductions of the immorality age and destroyed open malign.
Yeah, so the Lonely Seductions must be a military squad belonging to the civilization called the Immorality of Age. So that's really funny that civilization with that name, Immorality, would name one of their squads Seductions.
Right.
It's
very fitting.
Yeah, and in reality, they're actually all like in the native tongue of their civilization, and it's just showing us the approximate English translation for things.
That I did not know. That's fascinating. Adventurers, please join me in welcoming Drake of the Wyverns Lair, Volk Nasty, saying, "Attack the dragon." Good to have you here, Volk. And thank you for the support of the Wyverns Lair. Should we go ahead and continue generating?
Yeah, let's go. Let it go. And
So
you'll
this,
see it does slow down. Like the more historical figures there are, it's given each one a chance to like make decisions each year. Um, and events happen that create more. It could be adding historical figures from, any offspring of any historical figure is also a historical figure. So, yeah, you're really just looking at like the interactions between the existing historical figures and the population pool, and a lot of the historical figures are like already dead, but dead historical figures still count because characters remember them and tell stories about them, engrave them into statues or murals or whatever. So they're always tracked even long after they're dead. Um, until the last time their name is whispered by it. uh,
and you can
yeah, you
see
can
that
see
the
that
world is developing as time goes by,
yeah,
more and
it's
more.
really slowing down like the years. Like we're starting to take longer than a few seconds for each
Oh,
year.
oh yes, yeah, I can see that. I can see that. That's why you warned us that world generation might take a little while here. So it's generating this history for our world here. Is there a way of going back and reviewing the generated
Uh,
history for this world?
yeah, you can always review a history of the world in the what's it called, the Legends mode. Uh, which is one of the modes of the game. Like when you're choosing whether to play adventure mode or dwarf mode, there's also Legends mode where you can read everything, like every event. Um, you could probably pause it, and I think it would. If you pause it, it might give you a chance to like stop. Yeah, you can choose to stop and use it now. So you would have to. I don't think you could. I don't think you can come back and continue generating. Uh, but maybe they did that. I don't know if they added that. So like if it's paused in generation mode and you can go to the main menu and go to Legends mode and then come back and keep generating. I'm not sure.
Gotcha. Well, I
You
don't
would
want to
not have been
risk
able
it,
to do that in the free version. Yeah, I wouldn't risk it either.
so I'll
But
go ahead and continue generating.
getting there.
But let's say
Yeah,
once the
let
world
it.
is created, I can go into Legends mode and then look back
Look,
on the history
you got
of the
these.
creation of the world.
You can see these little sites popping up. The little like
A lot of them are ruins too, which is exciting.
yeah, definitely the ones on the mountain are going to be dwarves. Forests. They always put dwarves and mountains. Forests will get the elves, and then humans. I think it tries to put them on, I think, plains and coasts. Um, and goblins can kind of be anywhere. Kobolds can kind of be anywhere. Um, one fascinating thing, one of my favorite entities that it puts in the world is necromancers. So there are none placed when the world gets generated, but what happens is there's almost always a god of death. So in the cosmology generation, it'll always pick one of the gods to represent death, and that god uh, can decide to imbue the knowledge of life and death on a historical figure, often in the form of like a slab. So they give him like a slab with writing on it, and that tells him how to be a necromancer. And that as soon as an entity knows the secrets of life and death, they can choose to start doing the necromancer stuff that they want to do, which is essentially visit old historical battlefields of past wars, raise as many undead as possible, and build a tower where they will live and write books in their tower. And try to convert other necromancers and like make a little like mages school of necromancy, a little cult. Um, and they are one of the hardest entities to deal with if you're in fortress mode. So often that's a site to look out for. If you see necromancer tower, probably stay away unless you're ready to deal with just a profound logistical puzzle, because the necromancers can raise any dead, any dead tissue of any kind. So the fur and bones of your slaughtered animals of your food industry, uh, just uh, your dead, like the dead of your, if you're not properly entombing them in a stone like mausoleum, like under inside a stone casket underground, the necromancers can probably raise them, uh, and then every dwarf you lose will get turned into another soldier against you. So it's really bad if you get raided by a necromancer. It's almost always really bad.
I have to ask
But
Tom, what I find interesting about what we're seeing with this world that's being generated is that there's a whole swath of it that seems unsettled.
yeah,
The southern portion.
true, true. It's interesting, like, if we just don't see very much long-ranging colonization yet from civilizations. I mean, you do have that little like cluster of sites on that little river close to
Right.
the southern part. It could also be that it's just that's maybe this particular world just has unyielding savagery down there, and there's just hasn't been a way for any civilization to make inroads.
Ah,
So
interesting.
if they've properly fought all of the scary stuff up north, and actually this is just a small window of the world. Once you're done generating, you can kind of scroll around and see the rest of it, because this is just like one little sub window.
Hmm. And you can see that a number of our beasts have been struck down and have been destroying various settlements over the course of this world's history. We're almost approaching
Yep.
year 300. I can see
They
what you
are
were saying about how this would take a little while.
they are going at it. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
why don't you
Because
tell us a little bit about one of your favorite worlds that you played in Dwarf Fortress and what made it so memorable for you?
oh shoot, I love, like, I feel like I can remember like a good number of my fortresses. The one that sticks in my memory the most was one that I was embarking on a haunted glacier, because just be like, yeah, that seems pretty aggressively dangerous. So it's like a savage evil glacier, which the game will call haunted. If it's like savage, if it's like medium savage and it's aligned with evil, then it's haunted. And then, or it might be haunted as the level one. But anyway, it's a glacier, so it's not hospitable to begin with, but it's also evil, and and so I embarked on it. I did okay. Like I carved out, like, the always the first thing I do, and especially embarking on a glacier, you got to dig fast and get all your stuff from the wagon inside because it's too cold to live outside. So, like, I had a very humble little starting, and we actually got migrants, so I ended up having like 22 dwarves in there. Everything was great. Things were going awesome until I had a crazy simultaneous problem that was just too much for me to deal with. The simultaneous problem. Problem one, I had just broken into the cavern layer, which is cool. And it seemed safe. So I hadn't immediately walled it off yet. I was like working on it. I was gonna wall it off, so I have like a chunk of the underground that I know it's safe because it's not connected to the outside border. Basically, if you have a cavern layer and there's like an open spot on the border of the map, then the game can kind of like move stuff in and out of your cavern through that. Basically, say something came in from another part of the cavern. So I hadn't walled it off yet, and lo and behold, I get a Forgotten Beast attack, and which would have been okay because it wasn't even that bad of one. It was like I think it just had a bunch of spikes on it. It was dangerous, but it wasn't like instant death of the fort kind of dangerous. But the problem was that my military was all at a birthday party for my manager. And my manager had thrown a birthday party in the gathering hall, and they were all there partying. And to make matters worse, some really drunk dwarf literally picked up a statue and threw it at the birthday boy. I don't know why this happened, but it started a brawl. So they were fighting each other, and this Forgotten Beast just comes up into my fortress because nobody's listening to my request to like block it off or cut off the underground. I was gonna lose a few dwarves to the cavern because I was like, yeah, just wall it off. Don't let that thing in here. Like the dwarves that are down there, that sucks for them, but we gotta save the fortress. But I couldn't even, they wouldn't even listen to me because they were busy fighting each other, drunk as hell in a birthday party, which I was letting them have because I thought they deserved a little joy living in a haunted glacier, you know? Like, it's a mess, man. It can really be a mess.
That sounds so exciting. I love the emerge. I think you know, you touch on, I think, what one of the most exciting facets of Dwarf Fortress, Tom, which is the emergent story that, you know, you discover as a player as you play the game. Exactly the kind of memory that you just sort of shared with us here.
Yeah.
And
I think
that's
probably
my
the
my
majority
my
of
draw to this
players,
game is the surprise this game can provide you as you play through it. You
yeah,
know.
the community's generated so many amazing stories, and in some cases have like illustrated them or like done like artistic pieces, like capturing the crazy moment in Dwarf Fortress that they had. But there's some particular fortress histories that are kind of legendary to the community that kind of everybody knows about. Um, and you know, and then all the ones that the people who play, as long if you're in deep enough where you, like I said, if you have, yeah, there's lots of depths that you can appreciate the game and have wild emergent things happen. But a lot of the craziest stuff happens once you understand the game enough to where you have a self-sufficient food industry and you also have a like a basic military in place. Because then you're able to actually fight back if something invades you, and because otherwise most of the stories are gonna be all my dwarves starved to death or all my dwarves got killed by goblins who invaded as soon as we had a scrap of treasure. Uh,
And how does time pass in Fortress mode?
it's actually an interesting hybrid of simulation and um, like abstraction. So time passes fairly quickly from a human. So it abstracts a dwarf's day by spreading it over the whole year. So if a dwarf spends, what if you watch a dwarf sitting there sleeping for like 2 weeks, that's, you know, whatever. It just is like doing all of the sleep that it would have done over like multiple months all at once because it's an abstraction. So it's taking the liberty of, yeah, we can't actually simulate on a day by day level because um basically I forget exactly the reasons that he cited, but essentially it felt better as a game in Fortress mode to have the years pass a little bit more quickly than like real time. So they do they and it depends on the player too, because you can spend a lot of the game paused and just doing planning and like assignments and stuff. But ultimately, if you have basically the year is abstracted down so that the dwarf's particular activity for the whole year is spread, and this comes with consequences for the rest of the world. So you can see it's hard, it's kind of tricky to find, but you can sometimes see interesting results of like, because the rest of the world is getting simulated in a fairly linear way. Like, if a historical figure enters your fortress, like let's say they're just passing through, like a trader, like if you have just a merchant who's just passing through, if you were to like trap them in your area for too long, then you would just see like an unnatural, like they would have taken too long at your fortress from like the world history level. Like it would be like, yeah, they spent like 13 years at your fortress. Even though to you it didn't feel like that long. So there can be funny consequences of like the fact that the fortress is in kind of a time bubble where time passes sort of differently. Because otherwise it would be, um, I think, yeah, it's just not as fun, I guess, is the main main reason. Unfortunately led to, because that was like an earlier decision made in the game's development of like, yeah, we're not going to worry about like the world generation happens in a different fundamental process than the fortress, but they go kind of in parallel with each other. That was just an early decision made, and I think I don't know if he could get out of it easily if he wanted to, like switch the fortress over to be like true one to one. I remember him just saying there's a lot of weird consequences when you do that, and he preferred the weird consequences of the time bubble over the weird consequences of accuracy. So mostly I think he didn't want a fortress to be held up by what's going on in the rest of the world. So if you had to literally be waiting for the simulated events, as it stands now, when you save the game or when it hits certain seasonal, when the seasons change or when you save, it goes ahead and updates the rest of the world in one little batch. But otherwise, it would be doing it continuously as you're playing, which would make the game probably feel kind of stuttery. Yeah,
And that's fascinating.
that's my understanding.
Gotcha. Gotcha. This is a really interesting, history that's being developed for our world. So you can see that the northern half of our world seems to have been well settled by, different civilizations and
Yeah,
races.
they're like
But
filling out every little tile up
but
there.
the southern half is basically untouched, apart from that little outpost that you pointed out by that river.
Yeah. They can't get through the desert. That's probably like a swamp or something, like blocking off.
Now, could
And
there
if
be
not,
things to discover in the southern half, or is it the absence of points of interest indicating that this is barren?
no, I think there should be some sites that represent like forgotten ancient civilization. But yeah, if nobody's gone there to build anything, then it's probably just natural caves and whatever a mega beast might have made, like a dragon roost or something. Um, that could be. There's just be a million dragons down there.
Kite,
But yeah, we set Civ to low, so we might have just it might have just genuinely been like, nope. We threw a bunch of darts at the board, and most of them landed on the north side, and yep, there's just too many monsters, and nobody wants to go down there.
Kayatoshi actually has some advice for us here. He says shrines and caves don't show on this map, neither do labyrinths, vaults, and cobalt caverns.
Nice, yeah, yeah. I think labyrinths are an example of one of those like ancient civilization things.
So some features
Um,
are hidden from the player, and you actually have to go into the world to
yeah.
discover them. That's cool, Kayatoshi.
Also, the tiles we're seeing here are sort of, representation. So as long as there's like, it's showing that there is something in this area, in this like tile of the world, but it could be taking up like less than 1% of the tile.
Oh, this is so exciting. Now,
Yeah.
Tom, do you have your own channel? Or do you have a YouTube channel or Twitch channel where you
Sorta.
stream?
I do
You
have,
do?
yeah, Argembarger is sort of my main. I have a Twitch and a YouTube, and I pretty much use that username elsewhere.
Would you
Most
would you
my
be up for a little project with me, perhaps, in the way of
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
building this world out together and just swapping it back and forth? I think that could be really exciting.
yeah, that would be great. I would love to, because I
Something you
just
could
feel so
stream
bad that
on your
we
end.
I had to like drop the ball last time I tried to do that. I still feel bad about that, but it's such a fun thing to do.
I think it
Um,
takes a dedicated partner, and I think that would be really a fun project for the two of us to sort of shape this history, the history of this world, the fortresses and adventures that we curate over time. That could be a fun little project for us in the
yeah,
background
yeah.
of our
And
lives.
I'm loaded up with so much random trivia about this game. So for like times like this where we're just waiting for 500 years of history, I mean, I'm happy to fill this time with. I easily blather
No,
continuously for about Dwarf
I think
Fortress
this
for.
could be a really fun joint project, and I think that's very unique that you can swap, basically saves
Oh
back
yeah,
and forth and
I
iterate on the
I could
same
totally
fortress.
stream my side of it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. We could
Yeah, I'd love to.
alternate schedules where
My
one
most
week you
recent
stream.
obsession is, funnily enough, one of the things keeping me away from Dwarf Fortress has been a little game called Trackmania.
Trackmania.
So I've gotten hooked in this arcade racing game from France called Trackmania.
Trackmania. Let's look that up. Tell us about Trackmania. Also, before you do that, Kyotoshi says you can find these hidden areas by talking to people in adventurer mode. Ah, very cool.
Oh yeah, yep.
And
Yeah, yeah. If
adventure
you
mode is
ask about
something that
rumors,
you are in the you're familiar with, but you haven't spent as much time in adventure mode as you have in fortress mode.
yeah,
Correct?
well, I'm more familiar with the free. I'm less familiar with what they've done in this version, like the Steam version. But even back in the day, I only played adventure mode a handful of times. Mainly because I just found fortress mode so compelling, and it's like, what do I? I got enough content over here, and then by the time I would have been like, okay, let's try adventure mode out, I got way too busy with like school and work and stuff. So heartbreak hotel. what was I gonna say? I think. Oh, like the main thing with both this game and, frankly, with Bay 12 Games' other earlier works, and now with I'm just playing this game called Trackmania. What draws me to it is like the depth of the mechanics from a relatively limited input set. So this game Trackmania is like basically the simplest interface for a driving game I've ever, because like the acceleration and the brake is not even like analog like it is in most racing games, where you can like pull the trigger down on your controller and like each part of the way is like a different acceleration value. No, it's just on and off, and you got steering. It's as basic as it gets, but the community and the mappers just like take it and run with it, and there's all these, just the way these simple mechanics combine with each other to create unique situations and emergent gameplay. That draws me in a lot, when you can get just so much nuance out of basically almost nothing. Couple of moving parts here and there. Dwarf Fortress is a bit maximalist, but on some level it's minimalist because the presentation's certainly minimalist. You can do 100 things at any given time, but it's not like it's showing you 100 little pop. Although this beta version of Adventure Mode actually looks like it kind of does show you the full interface of what's an option at that moment and lets you use the mouse to interact with everything. So, but back in the day, you just had to have your cheat sheet open of like every keyboard command in Adventure Mode and like the 10 different modes you could be in, where the keys have a different context because you're in combat or whatever. So it's very onerous. And Fortress Mode, on the other hand, because Adventure Mode, there's no real, you want to pause just to look up the input you want to do, but Fortress Mode, you kind of want to pause it just to think about what you want to do on a high level, like actually plan out your like fortress and figure out who should be doing what. So there's a lot to do while the game's paused, whereas in Adventure Mode, you're not really doing anything while the game's paused. You're probably just looking up the hotkey for what you're trying to do. Looks like our world is done. That's
Quick question:
oh,
can we rename our world?
You rename the world. I think you can give it a nickname. I think so.
Let me see. Can
Like
we
if
look
you
this up
say-
real quick? Because I do want to rename the world in Dwarf Fortress.
Yeah.
Let's do a quick Google foo and see what we can do here. Okay, so it says df.global.world.worlddata.name contains a name. I assume it can be manipulated. I haven't tried. All right, let's see what else we got here.
Yeah. I think.
Ah.
Yeah, you can rename the when you save it, it'll like make a folder for it. You can rename that folder.
Got you.
That'll at least, even if the name of the world, I think if you say keep world and return to main menu, we should be able to like
Manipulate it a little bit?
look at it.
Okay, let's go ahead and do that. Keep world and return to main menu. Saving the world.
We should be able to look at it at least, and there might be a way to change the name from the menu.
We got 10 people watching the stream, Tom. Thank you all for being here.
Numbers.
Yeah, no, I appreciate people
Nice,
dropping
nice.
by. Anyone tuning
Everybody
in.
loves Dwarf Fortress. They saw it was in the Museum of Modern Art. They're like, this is artistically relevant now.
Is it in the Museum of Modern Art? Or are you just joking?
It's in the Museum of It's like the. I think it had a run in the Modern Art Museum, but I think. Oh no, because they have a video game. They have like a video game exhibit.
Oh, it actually was in the
like
New York Museum of Modern Art. It was featured there.
Yeah. There's like 8 other games featured, but it's one of them. I'm just like, it's a funny one to feature because you'd really be sitting there waiting. Hold on, I'm generating a world. With all the other museum patrons walking around you. Like you're just looking at what's looking like the Matrix from the movie The Matrix. Like just a bunch of monochrome symbols.
Volk Nasty says good times. Do you have any history with Dwarf Fortress, Volk? All right, so here we go.
We got it. Yeah, so it's looking the say start new game in existing world. Okay, I think check folder.
Loading world to
I
start new
think
game.
we'll see what happens. Because yeah, if you rename the folder, then it'll show it in game. It'll show what name you gave it. That might just be one of those. Because you probably have to like find replace the name in like all the data of the game. So the
Gotcha.
legends mode would be your just read about the history and have kind of deep dive into each particular character.
All right. Well, I'm just
Um,
going to go by world name since it was sort of highlighted at the surface of venturing to this world. Tom, it's now that's about 1 hour and 20 minutes into our stream, and I believe in healthy gaming here at the Wyvern's Lair. Would you be open to a 5 minute break before we dive into Fortress mode?
oh yeah,
Five,
sure,
10 minute
sure.
break. Okay. How
Yeah, yeah.
much would you want? Five? I think 5 minutes is a good amount of time. See you in
I think
five.
five's good. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. I'll be right back.
All right. See you guys in five. Volk says, just a bit. I don't have the time these days. I'll admit it's a bit intimidating to get started. And Volk says, your terms are acceptable.
No, legit.
Well, Volk, you're in the right place because I wouldn't have known where to start without Argenbarger here, leading the way, him being a veteran
Yeah.
dwarf. So give us
I'm
an.
just keeping on. It's a community tradition to get new players into the game. So I got a couple of my friends from high school into the game. People you wouldn't expect to want to play a game like that, but once they got hooked, it really got them hooked. So
There you go. So hang tough, and hopefully Argenbarger will illuminate the way to become a
yes,
successful Dwarf
yes.
Fortress. See you guys in five.
323. Sounds like a wyvern to me.
And I am back. Are you there, Tom?
I am.
Hey, all right. Did a good 5-minute break for you?
Yeah. Grab
So-
grab some more coffee.
So, what exactly is Legends? What happens if you click here?
Yeah, that's your history book. So yeah, exactly. You can explore, check out every historical figure
Oh, wow.
in every event.
Chronicles by age. What does that mean? The age of myth.
Oh, there's only been
Oh.
one age, right? Because the beasts have been so strong, and
Gotcha.
even though the civilizations have been widespread, they haven't exceeded the power level of the original mythological creatures.
Oh, interesting. Can I export elements of the legends of this world?
Well, they are data files on your computer. Oh yeah, export XML at the top left.
Oh, gotcha. Look at that. So it's interesting. We have 826 artifacts hidden across this world.
Yeah, artifacts can be fun to look at. They
Yeah.
often have some kind of
Let's take a
story
look at
around them.
this. Yeah. Let's see if we've got any blades. Does it
There's still a
indicate?
lot of books. You can use the search to filter.
So we click here,
Yeah.
and then sword.
You can kind of see what type it is on the right. Yeah. So you can search by type. You can search by bronze
Let's
mace.
see, weapon.
Not quite. They called
There
it
we
a
go.
sword, but it's a mace. It
We have
has
a-
sword in the name.
That's so cool. So we have an legendary iron warhammer. Sing weaken the Auburn deification.
Deification. Wow.
Let's
Yeah, if
take
you
a
click
look at
on it, I
this.
think
That's
it'll
so
show
cool.
you like a history of it.
Want to
Yeah,
go ahead
all
and
the
read this for
events.
us? It's just it could be a little fun to take a look at. I'll go ahead and read it. I'll read part of it, I guess. Sing weaken the Auburn deification was a legendary iron warhammer. This is an iron warhammer. All craftsmanship is of the highest quality. It is decorated with a cow hoof. That's interesting. In 61, Sing weaken the Auburn deification was created in Tong's honor by the dwarf Stoder Conjure Tools. And it was claimed by the same dwarf that same year. In the mid-autumn of 73, Sing weaken was looted from Inkgem by the chameleon brute Bexer Wondrous Glimmered
I've been
the
kind of
bloated
reading it,
drum.
Oh my goodness.
After defeating Stoder was slain by this chameleon brute. And
Yeah,
and
this artifact hammer built by a dwarf for themselves. They lost it dying to a chameleon brute, who then used their own hammer to kill 4 more dwarves.
I just saw that the chameleon
Oh.
brute went on a murder spree, slaying
Yeah.
Edom, Urush, Methesus, Etor, and then it was finally lost in smoothness
He just
blockade.
threw it away. It was like, I'm done killing dwarves. I don't need this anymore. And then somebody just finds it and then like brings it to their civilization, like this legendary artifact. Like, I don't know why I don't think a dwarf civilization would want that. They'd be like, this
It's a
hammer
cursed
sucks.
hammer. That's right.
It's only good at killing dwarves. Like, obviously.
That's right, and it's apparently lost somewhere in
That's
smoothness
a really.
blockade.
This is a great example of why your world is still in the age of myth, because stuff like this is happening.
Let me see if I can go ahead and export this as an XML. That's gonna be
People
fun
desperately trying to craft weapons to fight the beasts
Chronicles
with,
by
and then just
age.
getting killed and having their weapons used to kill more of their friends.
That's really
Yikes.
funny. All right, so this is it. The Age of Myth was a time when living gods and mighty beasts still held sway. And there it is. The first event is the dwarf Adel
Get to see
Werdiglaze became queen of the delightful hammer. And our last event,
all the starting civilizations.
in the late winter of 499, the anatomies uncovered was created in Woman Poets by the Elf-Atil Smilescribe. That's a funny name for the book by
Yeah.
Woman
Oh, yeah,
Poets.
I'll link all
Anatomies
these books.
Uncovered.
There's a ton of books.
There
There's
is.
a ton of books getting written.
Can you actually read
That's
these
most
books
of
in
what's
the
happening.
game?
Yeah, so the books exist as descriptions of what they contain, so you can't like read the books, but you can see a description of what the book is about and how it is written, like the style that it's written in.
Gotcha.
So like you'll be like, oh yeah, this is a memoir written in a sarcastic style, and it, levies accusations of libel against some other writer or something. Like sometimes you'll see books that are written as critiques of other books. fun. That's what necromancers want to do, for one. Other people want to write books too, but the most prolific book writers are necromancers, so you actually might want to watch out for those historical figures, because now that was last time I played, so I would hope the game would get updated so that non-necromancers would want to write more books, but I know that once upon a time it was like there was a one-to-one correspondence between books and necromancers, so
That's
they just
interesting.
needed enough undead to run their paper mills, I guess.
The hedgehog devil Anu lie deep the invisible thrust a spire of
Oh
Slade up
yeah.
from the underworld, naming it the profane tower, and established a gateway
Wow.
between the worlds in Bury Jackals.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about with like beasts that are aligned with deities. So that hedgehog devil literally made a made a gateway to hell. Uh, as that is a lot for a world to deal with. You got hedgehog devils running around opening gates to hell. You got chameleon brutes beating dwarves up.
That is so cool.
Uh, it's gonna be a good time.
All right, I think we're ready to begin a game type. To Fortress
Let's
mode we
do it.
go. I'm thinking we could do maybe an hour of Fortress mode, and if you have a little bit of time left over, we can poke around in Adventure mode. Does that sound good to you?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. Let's just jump in. For
off we
sure.
go.
Yep, and then it always runs a couple of weeks. Uh, this allows it to kind of pull a group of dwarves out of the civilizations without causing too much disruption. So a couple weeks for the world to deal with the fact that you're gonna get 7 dwarves, and um, also allow, because basically if you're going from fortress to fortress, like if you start another fortress, you have to deal with at least 2 weeks of your old fortress falling into ruin or whatever. So that way you can't just instantly re-embark and like pick up on the very next day after you got conquered by some goblins or whatever. You gotta wait at least 2 weeks before you can go try to reclaim the fortress.
Got you.
Um,
So
so
here we are.
there's a tutorial.
Let's go ahead and read
I
this. Oh, have you not seen this tutorial before,
I have
Tom?
seen it. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
you
I'm
have.
familiar with the tutorial. Yeah, yeah.
Let's go ahead and read this
That's pretty
text
good.
for the adventures here. Would you like your fortress located in a forested, mineral-rich region of this world where you can play through a short tutorial? Non-interactive help will be available whenever you decide. Let's go ahead and start that tutorial. It sounds like a good
Yeah.
way to start
It
off.
should give you a starting location with everything you would need, and
So it,
not too many problems. Oh yeah, you'll have a river. That's good. You'll have some
Alright.
access to the mountains, and you'll have trees. Very good.
All right, so it says a dwarven
Yeah.
outpost. You've arrived
I will
after.
read this. Can I read
Oh,
this?
oh, absolutely. Go
Yeah, yeah,
ahead.
yeah. You have arrived. After a journey from the mountain homes into the forbidden wilderness beyond, your harsh trek has finally ended. Your party of 7 is to make an outpost for the glory of all Kol Gatis. There are almost no supplies left, but with stout labor comes sustenance. Whether by bolt, plow, or hook, provide for your dwarves. You are expecting a supply caravan just before winter entombs you, but it is spring now, enough time to delve secure lodgings ere the grizzly bears get hungry. A new chapter of dwarven history begins here at this place. See Rabatur, warmth boulders, strike the earth.
I couldn't have read it better. Okay. All right. Camera controls, one
Warmth
of 8.
boulders.
Your view is focused on one elevation at a time. To move the camera around, press WASD or hold the middle mouse button and drag the view. Okay.
Actually, does your keyboard have a numpad?
It does.
I would actually recommend getting used to the numpad. So
Numpad's
for
actually not
to,
responsive to me.
hit numlock.
There we go. Still doesn't.
Yeah, because that'll give you diagonals. It also helps with like kind of the vertical, because you would do it with the 5. You would do it kind of with the middle key, the 5 key. That kind of, because then yeah, being able to move diagonally with the numpad and like hop up and down quickly. It's I think it's the best way. I think it's better than WASD. The middle mouse button might be cool, but I would say yeah, numpad is the way to go.
Yeah, for some reason the numpad isn't responsive to me. I don't know why. That's interesting.
That's weird. I would think numlock would be all you need to do, but oh well.
Move the camera up. What's this mean? Let me click here. Nope, doesn't do anything.
Oh, right. Roll the mouse wheel. Right.
Okay. Let me go ahead and see what is the next tutorial. Oops. Gotcha.
Oh, no, yeah. It wants you to go up and down elevation.
Oh, okay. Got you. All right, so we've figured out how to move the camera. To change the camera's elevation, press E and C or roll the mouse wheel. Right. So interesting. So this is
all the branches of these trees as they grow upward. And now you're too high up to see, so you can't see more than like 5 levels underneath, or it just turns into like fog.
Got you. So this
is
underground.
Yeah.
So we're zooming out right now with the sky. Got you. And now we're zooming in. So this is the top of the trees, basically, there. The branches, sort of like the tree trunk itself.
Yep.
Kind of, we're getting closer to the ground now. Whoops. Oh, this is the ground level view. Got you.
Right. And then this is the first level underground, right?
All right. Baraz says the problem with the numpad controls.
Get lost in the 3D space if you're like not sure how high or low you are.
Baraz says the problem with the numpad control is we are missing a third hand. I completely agree, Baraz. It's really awkwardly positioned on these old-fashioned keyboards. Definitely. I think you get newer keyboards with numpads. Really well. Can you get keyboards with numpads on the left-hand side? I think you can.
I have a separate numpad that I bust out if I have an emergency. Like if I need to play Dwarf Fortress and I don't have a numpad keyboard, I have an external numpad.
Nice. We got Shaman here joining us here at the Wyvern's Lair saying, why is the cat and dwarf popping in and out in the same spot?
Oh, good question. Yeah, that's because they are occupying the same tile right now.
There you go.
It's just showing both of them, yeah.
Baraz says, when two entities share the same spot, they blink that way as a way of indicating it. Gotcha. And as as Tom pointed out here. Okay. When your view is in the air and above other tiles, you can see them below, but you can only interact with objects in your current elevation. That's good to know. So if we're zoomed out, we wouldn't be able to interact with anything that's not part of our current elevation. Same for below surface view. The view will be dark underground until you begin mining. So we can show that if we just go one down. So this is sort of like that darkened view that they're talking about, which will change as we begin mining the earth. You can move the camera to the surface with the surface button. The F1 hotkey will recenter on your wagon. So if we go over here and we press F1, it will take us back to the wagon.
You can assign all the F keys to wherever you want them to be. So F1 is always automatically assigned to your wagon, but you can reset it to any other spot. And that is very helpful. There's always going to be like key areas where you'll be visiting often, or you want to check up on often. Kind of like RTS culture a little bit, like in real-time strategies when you assign group numbers, so you're quickly hotkeying between your groups and checking up on things around the world.
Baraz says it does that also when you use a mount too. Not the best visual. All right, let's click next. You can zoom in and out of the play area using left bracket, right bracket, control, mouse wheel, or the indicated buttons. All right, so let's see. Control, mouse wheel. Oh, there we go. So it's giving us a larger view of the area that we're in currently, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
They got this hillside. You're kind of in a valley.
All right.
Got hills on all sides, which is good. It's easier to dig into a hill than to dig straight down.
That's cool. Baraz says, I actually never played, just watched many videos. Well, we're happy for your expertise here, Baraz, along with Argembarger here. Let's click OK. All right, it's time to get to work. Let's start by digging a stairwell into the ground. There may be plenty of hillside to dig into, but you'll want to seek wealth below the surface. Mining tasks are designated on the play area. Begin by clicking the highlighted mining button. So that would be this button here, okay? Set digging orders. All right.
Yep.
There are several ways to mine. Stairwells, selected, start at one elevation and are completed at the next. Click the surface, move the camera down one level, and click the underground. Reversing the order also works.
I might recommend like digging into a hill and then digging down, just because I feel like it's easier to defend an entrance Like it's easier to defend like an actual like tunnel entrance than like just a when you start digging directly down immediately. But you know, also you can build a fortress around your entrance.
Let's do
And
that.
the advice is kind of like gotta be generic because you could have started somewhere without any hills, and then you wouldn't have a choice but to dig straight down. But
Hmm.
you do sort of have hillsides, and I think they're good to use, in my opinion.
Let's do
So I
that.
would dig like into one of them and then dig down.
So,
Um,
so where can we find these hillsides you're talking about?
so they're kind of all around to the north. So you see these like differently green areas. Those are like hills upward.
So it's to the
Or
north.
now you're
Let's go here. So these are hills. Let's
no,
see.
no, yeah, there they are. Yeah, those are hills.
Those are hills.
I gotta make sure I watch the Discord stream and not the YouTube stream because it's more. Otherwise, I'll be on a
Current.
slight delay with you.
Right. Yeah.
But
Um,
yeah, those are hills, and you
but
can just
they
dig
seem to be
directly with
if
the.
these hills. We seem to be at the top of a hill here, right? So we actually need to
Yeah,
go.
and the river is actually going further down, so you've got like a waterfall going into like a valley that's kind of cutting into the hills here.
Hmm. So should
Um,
we go? Should we move our caravan to the bottom and begin building into the hillside?
I I would personally. I like digging into hills. But
Okay.
it is your fortress.
So
And
let's
it's
see. How do we move the caravan?
so you will only designate what you want them to do, and they will sort of pick up the task on their own. Since we're doing the tutorial, there's definitely at least one of them is designated as a miner and has a pick. So, it should because you can embark and not give every you know if you don't have any pickaxes, then you can't mine. But as soon as you designate it, somebody with the pickaxe will come start doing it. Um, so I don't know if you want to dig your entrance to the north or to like the east or west. But they should all be fine. I would probably do north
North.
and then just
Okay.
like yeah, because you'll be near the stream, and then you can dig down, and you'll have more space to work with once you're down. But yeah, if you like just have your entrance tunnel against this hillside that you're looking at here, you
So
can
let's see.
go to the first ground layer.
That's
Oh
what
yeah,
I'm trying to
actually,
do. Yeah.
this is a downward hill, not an upward hill. So
Correct. Yeah.
interesting, actually interesting. You're on top of a hill.
Okay. So let's see. I think this is the edge. I guess.
But I wouldn't put your entrance so close to the edge of the map because you don't get very much time to react if something comes in from the edge of the map on top of you.
Oh, so that is the edge of the square.
Yeah, that's the edge of the map. So anything can enter the area from anywhere else in the world through the edges of the map.
Okay. So let's go back to our caravan, and
So
let's take a look
another
at.
look at this. So this is the top of a hill and everything's downhill from here. So maybe, yeah, actually the best move might be to just dig straight down and like eventually build walls around your entrance.
Okay.
Because you can build walls and like build a ceiling over your entrance tunnel. But yeah, I thought we were in a valley, but we're actually on top of a hill. So I misread the visual cues.
So okay. So once again, how do I do this? I
Yeah, so
click the surface.
actually you're already on the right menu. I think it's selecting the right stairway. So you click on a tile where you want to start the stairs.
Okay. Dig a stairway
Um,
on this level, going up or down. Your selection must span multiple elevations. Click on a tile, change elevations, and click again. All right. So
Right. So the difference between stairs and ramp is that stairs go literally straight up and down. So
Okay.
whereas a ramp will always go down but also forward in some direction. So you got the stairs right now. If you want to just click on pretty much anywhere. Next near the wagon's good, just to be close to it. They can grab stuff real quick. Yeah,
Got
you
it.
clicked once and then you change elevation as low as you want, however many tiles down you want them to dig.
and click again.
It's good to build. It's good to build more than one tile of stairs because then the dwarves can easily pass each other on the stairs.
So like this.
Yeah. Then
Or
then
like this?
if they need, that works too. Yeah. Then you'll have a high density of being able to for dwarves to pass each other.
So do we want to
stairs.
like create the stairway like this on the surface as well?
Yeah,
Or
that would work. Yeah. So just go back down underground and then place it.
what's ideal?
should.
Like this or this?
I'm 2x1 is enough.
2x1 like this?
2x2 is kind of like yeah, you're trying to move your whole army through or something. But yeah, that should be enough. The 1x2 there.
Okay, so we'll click here. Sorry. And then we go down one.
Yep. Go down one and click again. Yep.
Does that look correct?
That looks correct. And you can go deeper if you want, so you can go a few deep. Depends, because it depends on what material. Like, if this is all a soil layer, you may want to go deeper until it starts becoming stone.
Okay. So should we go one deeper?
Yeah, I'd probably go a couple deep.
Okay.
I think it's a good idea.
All right. How many? Like one layer deep?
You might have to start at the original stairs.
Oh.
Or the stairs that you just placed.
Okay.
But yeah. So.
Click there.
Started it, and it should work.
Oh.
Yeah, it turns it into an up-down stair.
Ah.
This is a fun little detail that I think they made it a lot easier in this version, because it used to be you had upstairs, you had downstairs, and you had up-down stairs.
Gotcha.
And, if you use the wrong one, you might it might be goofy. And also it's different when you're digging them out of the ground versus constructing them. So you can construct stairs in open space, and that just behaves a little differently. And you'd want to pick the right one. You'd want to pick the right one the first time, because otherwise you'll have to deconstruct it and try again. But yeah, so now you've placed your. I think if you scroll back up to the surface, I think we placed our stairs.
Do we want to dig one more level down? Oh, we have that there. So
yeah, it looks like we're going 2 down.
Okay.
That should be okay. We'll see. Let's see what happens. If you unpause the game now, it'll get to work.
All right, now we'll unpause the game and let the miner finish the task. Press space to unpause or use the highlighted controls at the top of the screen. You should pause regularly starting out. Okay.
Definitely. That's the biggest beginner mistake, is not pausing enough. And too much time is passing. Oh, I think it repaused again. There now it's gone. But so yeah, they're digging. They've dug out the stairs.
All right.
Pause it again.
I did. All right, mining 2 of 8. Let's make a safe place to work. Select regular mining mode to the left of the stair mining mode. Dig a rectile underground big enough for a large stockpile and use some workshops. Consider that most workshops are 3 by 3 squares. Mining through the stone layers further down may take longer, but it leaves boulders, which are essential building material. Later, you can consider making a meeting area from the zone's menu. Otherwise, your citizens will continue to gather by the wagon outside. Okay, this is interesting.
Yep, the wagon is the default meeting place until you make one yourself.
Okay.
And they need a meeting place so they can, like, basically it's where they choose to go on break at.
Gotcha.
When they take breaks. Gotta have your dwarf resources department giving everybody breaks and stuff.
So let's go down one level.
It's also based on their personality, so if a dwarf is like lazy, then they will take more breaks.
All right, so now dig. So we need to dig for a large stockpile and workshops. So how big?
Go down one more though. Maybe go down one more.
Go down one more.
Already. Yeah, this is stone down here for sure. It looks like stone.
Is it still being built?
Digging out.
Okay, so
yeah,
we'll
it's still getting dug out. So if you unpause for another, they're done already. Yep.
Okay.
I would do the digging down here.
Got it. Okay, and how big should our stockpile be?
Make a little hallway and then just dig out. I usually dig out like a little 4x6 room. Yeah, make a little hallway leading to the stairs. You can make it like 2 wide or whatever.
Like this?
Just dig out a ways. Yeah, give yourself some space so that you can dig some doorways and lay out some rooms.
Okay.
You want to leave a tile for the walls.
Gotcha. Let me hold on one second. If I press escape, will I cancel that command?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I just want to scroll down a little bit. There we go. Let's make a long corridor that we can use as the basis for our Dwarven Kingdom.
Oh yeah.
Oops. Did that work? I don't think it did. Let me see.
I think it didn't work.
Didn't work. Okay, so we'll try that again.
One more time.
So, I guess press like that.
The
there we go. Almost. Yeah. Does that work?
Looks like it's good.
Okay.
I'll come out and dig, and then you can dig a doorway tile, and then make a rectangle or something to make a room. And you want to, I like to dig out like a relatively large area and use it as a like everything kind of storage area. That way they bring the material, because we want to break down the wagon and bring everything inside
Mm.
so that it doesn't get rained on and stuff. I don't even know if there's rain where you're at actually, but you know, it's you want to bring it inside and keep it safe.
All right,
Um,
there we go. So, all
and
right.
actually, just the starting tunnel here itself often makes a convenient like storage unit. So I think the next tutorial might get into it. So let's see what they're
Okay.
not making you build workshops yet, so that's fine.
All right. Well,
My
click.
my tutorial may differ from the game's tutorial,
Ha ha ha.
so you'll get the best of both here. Oh yeah,
Oh.
make a stockpile first thing. That's good. That's very important.
The supplies in the wagon are in danger of being carried off by wild creatures. It's time to build a stockpile underground to unload them. Stockpiles are crucial to moving supplies around your fortress where they're needed. Stockpiles are placed with the stockpile button. Click on it now. All right, so this is a
So
stockpile button. Mm-hmm.
my thought usually when it comes to the first stockpile to bring everything in, I often think about it as like, okay, this will probably become my military barracks or like the point of defense. So like once you've moved everything inside and you've kind of organized the space, the space you build here that's closest to the surface, I think is most important to use for like defense.
Right.
So you can just dig out like a little area and just think like later on you're probably going to convert it from a stockpile and build a barracks or something, so that way your military is always at the entrance.
Understood. So how
It's
big should our
something to do.
stockpile room be, you think?
I am like 6 by 6, 6 by 8.
Should I build
Like
it adjacent to
relatively
the
large,
stairs?
relatively large.
Like this?
Yeah, but like make it like one tile away from the hallway. Like put it so that there's like a doorway leading to it.
Ah, okay.
Give it
Got you.
like a
So,
one, give it like a 2 tile doorway or a 1 tile
and you're saying
doorway.
6 by 8, right?
That's what I typically reach for, yeah. Like I would build a little like door, maybe 4 tiles. Yeah, don't like knock down the wall to the hallway. Leave the wall up. You can add another. You can
Like
add
this
to this
large for the
designation.
stockpile, or is this way too
Yeah, that
big?
large, but like leave a space for the wall.
Oh, leave a space for the wall. So push it back by 1.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You
Okay.
can designate most of it now and just add one more column after. So you just like
Gotcha.
lay
Okay.
out a chunk of it here, and
Like
this is
this.
also a good way to pre-plan. Like if you don't connect it to the open space, then you can just kind of lay down plans without actually committing to them.
Gotcha. So like this is what you're kind of advising, right?
Yeah, that looks good to me. It doesn't have to be 6 wide. That looks fine to me.
Okay. I'll just I can make it 6 wide. I mean, there we go.
Yeah, yep, exactly. Just add to it.
Yeah. Boom. All right.
But this is kind of nice because you can use it as an everything dumping ground. But you'll probably make other spaces like this, which will be a combination of you'll like build a workshop inside of it, and then have the rest of the space for the stockpile area where they'll handle the materials that they're working with.
Do we
So
need to
like,
build a door first so that we can build
yeah,
out the
in
rest of
order
this
for
area?
them to start mining, you'll have to connect it to some place they can reach already.
All
So,
right. So how do we access the
you,
door?
you can oh no, you just dig a hole, like add one more mining
Oh, like this.
tile.
Gotcha. Like that.
Yeah, yeah. You can make it 2 wide, you can make it 1 wide. It's all good.
Okay. I'll make
It's
it
all
2 wide.
good.
There we go.
Yeah, I like symmetry.
Me
I
too.
like yeah, yeah.
All right. Off we go.
One of the traps of Dwarf Fortress is like over planning the fortress
No,
ahead
I
of
can see
time.
how addictive and fun this can be. We have a cat. It's so good. We have a little cat as our mascot for this expedition.
I think there's actually an explicit blueprint mode where you can lay down fake designations that are actually fake, but you can just use it for planning.
Oh, that's
Uh,
that's interesting.
but it's really funny, like little quirks of like the logic. Like dwarves like to. This is just a quirk of the AI, but they like to do things starting from the top left corner. So, kind of like, I watched this dwarf like. Oh, it looks like they've added a little bit of like wanting to go around the border before finishing up, because they used to like try to get to the top left corner and then just do whatever tile is closest to the top left corner from that point. But it looks like they're a little more nuanced. Just this one example. Oh, there's a good example. So diagonals are valid openings. That's something you might have to think about because it's not super intuitive. But if you leave a diagonal gap, anything can walk through it.
Got you. Okay.
Like that cat was running through the... Okay, now, yeah, open stockpile mode. Good instinct to pause the game. Yep.
Sure. Okay, so we click on place stockpiles for item storage. We click on this. All right.
E for pile.
Stockpiles. The supplies in the... Okay, sorry. Click the add button and click 2 corners of a rectangle somewhere safe to place your pile. Stockpiles can be placed both on the surface and underground. Once the pile is placed, click accept and select the all option. Okay, so let's see. Let me take a look at this. So, gotcha.
This will be another part where I'll kind of suggest a pattern that I would personally use, but we'll get into it once you got the menu open.
Okay. Do I not have the menu open right now?
You just got to place it, I think.
Start painting a new stockpile. Once the tiles are chosen, you'll be able to set the details. Okay.
Yeah.
So, how come I can't
just fill that room up with a?
For some reason, let me click that again. Oh, right there we go. So this is the stockpile thing? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Is that correct?
Yeah. Go ahead and place it.
Okay. Placed.
Now you should be able to... Yep. I think... Yeah.
Click in the player to paint the stockpile. What does that mean? Left click to choose corners of a rectangle?
Yeah, so you've painted it already. Now you just got to click on it. I think without anything selected. I think you just...
Click accept.
Yeah, like get out of painting mode and like...
Okay.
There we go. So this is... You can name the stockpile and you can dictate what it's for.
Oh, got you. Select all.
My recommendation would actually be to unselect stone and quartzes.
Okay, so we can isolate. Okay, got you. So how do we isolate stone?
I think you just want to start selecting everything but stone.
Okay.
Well, okay, let's see. This should... Oh wait, no, start with an all stockpile. Yeah, start with all. You can give it a name. Doesn't really matter. You can just call it stockpile 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think if you set this now, or no, you go to custom. That's got to be it. Yeah, it's custom. My bad. Yeah,
there we go.
Now you can, yeah. So I would, yeah, they got corpses and refuse unselected. I would also unselect stone.
Stone. Okay, let's go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
How do I unselect them?
Yeah. Just hit the check mark, I think.
Check mark.
Or hit the none on the second column.
Okay. Whoa.
Oh no, the second column.
This one? There we go.
I can't see your mouse. Yeah, that did it.
Yep. Okay, and what else are we unselecting? Go ahead.
Yeah, so this looks good. This will be pretty much an everything stockpile except for these specific things. Okay. Yeah, you can remove wood too, but
remove wood. Okay. I can remove wood, sure. So
yeah, we can change the stockpiles later. I think it's all good. But
that looks good.
Like that's a good call. Like XPT said, like because wood is just a common. You're gonna have a different wood stockpile later, so you'll just have to come back and we'll probably just remove the stockpile eventually. This is just to get everything out of the wagon, bring everything inside real quick.
Understood. And adventurers, please join me in welcoming XPT to the Wyvern's Lair, saying, I was sent here from Facebook. What is going on? I'll tell you exactly what's going on here, XPT. Myself, DM Wyvern, I am learning the ropes of Dwarf Fortress from my good friend, Argembarger here, a.k.a. Tom, who is a master dwarf. He is a mountain king who has decided to pass on his wisdom to this Dwarf Fortress neophyte myself.
I call myself a baron at best, but I'm of the mountains for sure.
Okay. All right. If unpaused, your workers should start unloading the wagon into stockpile. Later, you may want to customize your stockpiles by clicking on them and pressing the custom button to forbid certain categories, like refuse, for example. A separate refuse stockpile is a good idea to keep your fortress clean. If the
Yeah, it's
stockpile
good to
menu
put
is
those like outside.
if the stockpile menu is still open, you can close it now by right-clicking. Right-clicking can always be used to close most menus, as well as the escape key. All right. XPT says, unless you remove wood from all stockpiles, your dwarves most often prioritize filling the stockpile with wood. Okay.
Yeah, especially because when you break down the wagon, it'll like give you the wood from the wagon itself. So.
With your shelter underground, it's time to build. First, you need building materials like wood or boulders. Before you start chopping down trees, you may want to create a dedicated wood stockpile. Haulers will also drop wood in your all stockpile unless you turn it off in the custom stockpile menu. When you are ready, open the wood cutting menu and designate the trunk of a tree on the surface. Make sure your woodcutter can walk the designated area. Okay, so how do we get out of this menu, first of all?
I think you can the down arrow at the bottom or hit escape.
Okay, let's go ahead and hit escape. There we go. Now, do we want to build that separate stockpile for wood?
I would actually, one thing that I would do is I would designate the hallway as like a stone stockpile personally. That's just like my choice. But yeah, that would also have like a place to put the wood. You can dig out another room for that where you can put a workshop in there so they can work with the wood. Or you can do all the woodworking on the surface if you want to. Like, that's often pretty easy. I don't know how savage your area is. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure how critical it is that we make this defensible immediately.
Probably, considering that we created a very dangerous
general
world.
Savagery was high, so we have a statistical... We should be able to check this, though. Look at the very bottom left has some extra menus for, like, some other information about the area, I think.
Place information menu? Okay.
I think so. Try that.
Do we need to exit out of the stockpile menu first?
Probably.
So hit escape?
Yeah.
Okay. So stockpile 1 is set up properly, correct?
Yeah, it was set up. Yep.
Okay. Adventurers, please join me in welcoming our great friend, Joker Soul Dragon, saying, "What up, DM Wyvern? Good to have you here, Joker Soul." Okay, let's click on Open the Place Information menu. Oh, for some reason, it's not letting me.
You know what's even crazier is the hotkeys are case sensitive, so that is capital P for the place menu.
I can't open it for some reason. I don't know why.
Probably the tutorial. Maybe if you, it might be because the tutorial's active.
Right.
That would make sense. But
okay, so what is the next step here? So we have our.
Let's make the tutorial happy real quick. We'll just we'll just chop down one tree to get the tutorial out of the way on this one.
Okay, so let's go ahead and change levels.
Up to the surface.
Yep. There we go.
Yeah, you got the tree felling button next to the mining button.
Right there. Okay. Set tree chopping orders. Okay, we can click there.
L for lumber.
We don't need to set a stockpile for the wood yet?
You don't have to. They'll just not do anything with the wood when they chop it.
Okay.
So I just want to make the tutorial happy.
Right. Okay, so let's go ahead and read this. Oh, we have read it. All right, so we got to designate a tree to chop down?
Just paint one of the trunks here.
Like that?
You're looking at. Yeah, perfect.
There we go. Okay.
Yep. And then,
now we just need to wait for the woodcutter to chop down the tree. If the fallen logs are accessible, everyone will help store them in the stockpile. When you right-click to close woodcutting mode, right-clicking closes most menus. Okay, right-clicking, got you. If all your stockpiles are full, go ahead and place another one. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and unpause. Right.
Yeah, you will need to make a wood stockpile to make this tutorial happy because we disabled it in the all stockpile.
Have they did they still need to build the stockpile here?
They've been paused, yeah.
Okay.
No, they don't build anything. They just use the space that way. So they're bringing stuff down. Yeah, they're loading it up. So the other thing you want to... Ooh, alert. Something has collapsed on the surface. That's surely the tree.
Ah, gotcha.
Surely the tree is what collapsed on the surface.
Oh, XVT says you should not chop down a tree that's adjacent to another tree because it can cause...
What happened? You have lost a population? Did someone get hit with a tree?
No, we haven't lost a population.
No, you have. Look at that. Look at that. Laying down dead dwarf.
Where?
Slightly to the north.
Where?
Right above the tree. Where the tree was.
Oh no!
That's wild. I can't believe that happened. I don't... That is so unlikely for a dwarf to get killed by chopping down a tree. Like... That is wild. That is a good start here.
It's a good start. XBT says you should not... You should not chop down a tree that's adjacent to another tree because it can cause a cave-in and hurt your wood chopper, and that's exactly what happened. It not only hurt our wood chopper, killed it.
Yeah, you almost need to like, but the wood. I've never seen that happen though. Even with the multi-tile trees, I've never seen. It just fell on him. Look at that. Goodness. That is so wild. I'm glad we disabled corpses, or they'd be bringing the corpse down here.
All right. So what do we got to do?
I think we'll have to see if that dwarf was your woodcutter. We'll have to tell somebody else to be the woodcutter. But in the meantime, let's make a wood stockpile.
Okay.
You can dig another room for it, or you can just place it on the surface. It's up to you.
What do you usually do for your stockpiles?
I usually take it underground.
Okay.
Underground is the best.
What kind of room would you like for it?
Get all my dwarves cave acclimated. You can make it like another room, like the first one, but
similar in size.
On the other side, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. You have a stockpile for raw wood and a stockpile for finished wood products.
Okay. There we go. Sounds. Oops.
Good.
Yeah, I like symmetry.
That's so wild. That's the dumbest lumberjack dwarf I've ever seen.
All right, so there we go.
You
That's
had one job.
One job.
Chop down a tree and not die. The
All
world
right.
is savage enough without getting killed by the tree you chop down. Like, maybe. I'd have to see if it's not the lumberjack who died, then that's even more tragic because that just meant there was a bystander.
Adventurers, please join me in welcoming our great friend, Drake of the Wyvern's Lair, Knight of the Banhammer, Flint Fireforge in his little box popping up. Hey, Fireforge, if you want to join us live on stream as a true dwarf, let me know. You can join Argembarger and myself as we discover Dwarf Fortress. All right, so go ahead and unpause.
Yep.
Okay. Hey, there's a sword there.
Totally got it. What's up?
Did we get another alert?
No. Well,
No.
it does pause the game.
So we're good.
Let's see. Yeah, it's the death alert. So, wait, hold on. Can you see the second to the bottom alert?
This one?
Cross swords.
Oh.
Woodworker has been found dead, badly crushed by the tree. What's
Got
the one above it?
Okay.
The one above it says.
The dog is fighting. Mason Tech is fighting. The yak bull is
Oh,
fighting.
were there a bunch of animals around the tree as well?
The blue
Mason?
peacock child is fighting. The dog is fighting. I have no idea.
They must have been, because they must have been near the tree and they like dodged it, because that would count as fighting.
Gotcha.
Be dodging the tree.
The tree. So Kubuk Kolotol has been the first
woodworker.
casualty of our dwarf colony.
The
The
worst
woodworker
I've ever seen.
has been found badly crushed. XBT
That's
says you can
tragic.
also assign more miners. If this is a standard start, you should have 3 pickaxes.
Welcome to Dwarf Fortress.
Welcome to Dwarf Fortress. Okay, so go ahead and unpause. We should clear out this room first before we assign another woodworker.
Let him mine the room out.
Okay. Do we want to assign more miners as XBT is advising here?
Yeah.
So how do we do that?
So I think, yeah, if you go to the... should be a labors menu, or what's the one... That's hovel. That's, go to your... That'd be in the fortress information. Stocks. At the top.
Stocks?
See what that menu goes to.
Ooh, hold on one second.
Or no, it's to the middle top.
Stocks there. Okay. Open the stocks window where you can see all of your fortress's items. Press K. Oh, I think we're still really kind of locked in by this tutorial.
Oh, okay.
Alright.
Can you minimize the tutorial? Does that make it let you do stuff?
Let's see. Stocks. Press K.
Go-
Nope.
It should be like, hit the D key. Try hitting the D key.
D. That's
What's
what
the
that
axe
did.
key in the bottom left. Oh, the axe button.
Oh, the
Bottom
axe
left.
button? Let's see. Press the axe symbol down in the bottom left. Okay, so the axe bottom left would be this one. Objects menu? Yep. Yeah, it
it's
looks
the
like
hammer.
looks like most of this menu is inaccessible until we encounter it in the
Okay,
tutorial.
okay. We'll placate the tutorial real quick then.
Okay. Let's go ahead and allow this to be mined out.
Yeah. Surely nothing tragic will happen from just mining.
Let's go ahead and right-click to dismiss.
The
Right-click to dismiss.
miner's probably working on hauling stuff right now.
Is this regular?
Unconscious? Hold up. Why is your mason unconscious now? Let's go to the surface real quick. What's going on up here?
What is going on?
Hello? Unconscious. Where? Where is your mason?
Okay, should I zoom out a little bit?
Maybe.
Oops. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Let's go back. Oop.
No. What's going on with your mason? Yeah, click on your mason, check its health. Yeah, we gotta find him first. The alert might take you to the mason, actually.
Okay.
If you look at the alert, left click, mason.
Hold on 1 second. Wow, we're getting huge hail here in the Wyvern's Lair right now. Let's see. Left click for recenter and expand options.
Yeah, if you left click it, it doesn't take you to the mason.
Yeah, it's not taking me to the mason, unfortunately.
Yeah, it must be somewhere underground or above ground.
Something's collapsed on the surface. We know what that is.
Well, it's still paused. That was like
dead.
That was the old alert. Still writing in stockpile unconscious. About what? What could you possibly be unconscious about? I don't see any enemies. That's the thing I'm looking out for.
And I can't even right-click in these dwarves because of the tutorial here.
That fast.
You know, maybe let's go ahead and cancel the tutorial so we can get freed up and check out more of the stuff.
Let's in order to get the tutorial out of the way, let's just make a wood stockpile right next to the wagon here.
Okay.
On the surface. Just to get this tutorial going.
Well, let's see if this eventually gets dug out. Let's just see what happens.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
They're unloading the wagon, correct?
You'll see like once they're done hauling, you'll see like the mining tile start to light up when they start to work on that.
Okay.
Just as soon as the stockpile's full, the miner will probably... Yep, there they go. There they go.
G-Dub says, I was going to say sounds like Kale, and Baraz says, nice storm sound effects in the game.
Yeah, the sound effects in the game are really great. Multiple musical tracks and like environmental effects with different weather.
The score is excellent, yeah.
I love it. Yeah, you can definitely put it on and vibe out. And the original free version just had like 2 different classical guitar tracks that the creator did. Just kind of plucked them out, never wrote them down. Kind of one shot, one take. And it's been the game soundtrack for all these decades, and then they make it for Steam and they want to like reimagine the soundtrack with actual multiple instruments and effects and make soundscapes, and just kind of inspired by those original guitar tracks. Almost done. You can also run the game at different speeds, but really don't want to.
Gotcha. All right, so let's go ahead and create this stockpile. Boom. Yeah. And then
make it accept your...
How do we edit it? We got to place it, right?
I think you just got to accept it.
Yeah, okay. Accept. And then we're going to go ahead and customize it.
Call it a wood.
Oh, I see. Gotcha. And then we're going to say none, but we're going to allow this.
Yep, select wood, select all.
Oh, there we go. All right.
Looks good.
And then we click escape to get out of this menu, right? Back up one surface. Okay, there we go. Wood stockpile. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to rename it and call it wood stockpile 1. 1.
Yes.
There we go. And that's it, correct? We're good there.
Be good. Yeah. Okay. Dinner, all good. Then unpause. I'll start bringing in wood, and then the tutorial will finally move on.
There we go.
Maybe we can bury this poor dead dwarf and get somebody else to be the miner or the woodcutter.
All right, let's click OK. Building 5 of 8. Now that you've the building materials, it's time to start building. Workshops are one of the many buildings that you can place with a highlighted build button. Click it now. Open building mode. All right, so this is building mode. Okay. Place structures in work areas that require construction materials. And there's workshops.
Yep.
Okay.
Workshops, yep.
Most workshops require building materials such as wood or boulders. If you have some wood stockpiled, you'll be able to place a carpenter's workshop. Click Workshops, Carpenter, and place the shop in an empty area on the surface or underground. Okay, got it. All right, so we can actually place it like adjacent to this thing, right?
Yeah, I think you'd have to like clear out a 3x3 square of the of the stockpile in order to place it in that room with it. But you can do that. Like it's kind of a good, like you can put it in the center. You can just like go back to the paint a stockpile thing. You can edit, you can modify a stockpile and like take away tiles from it.
So let's
you have
do
a
that.
3x3.
So we can click here, and how do we? Oops.
Then the minus, or there's the
remove the stockpile permanently. No. Repaint the stockpile.
Repaint. Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. And then there's the eraser.
The eraser there. Okay, got you. And you said 3x3, correct?
Yep.
Okay. So we can take this section here and turn that into a carpentry area.
Yeah, one more column, but yeah.
One more column. There we go.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
That's great.
Well, in that case, just
kind of
for
nice
the
to
sake
surround
of
a workshop with the stockpile, honestly.
Just for
you
the
didn't
sake,
erase it.
Yeah, I know. Let me go ahead and click here. Oops, no,
Yeah,
I'm doing the wrong thing. I got it.
Yep.
There we go. Okay, repaint the stockpile. Yeah. Oh no, wait.
Wanted a revenge attempt on understanding Fortress mode.
Gotcha. Okay, there we go. Come on. Oh, it starts me off in the center here. Can't I just move? Okay, there we go. That's what I was looking for. Perfect.
Ah, sure.
Put
it against the wall.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. And just click. I think should kind of finish.
Where would you place this out of curiosity? Just like
I mean, that's fine. I usually stick things in the corners, but
corners. Okay. Like
the
this?
different workshops, that's where I would probably put it. The different workshops have different shapes, and they can block off like they have different shapes in what will be blocked by them. So, but it doesn't really matter because none of the shapes are like. I don't think there's any workshop that's like all left and bottom. It's almost always like there's a way to get to the center from anywhere. So, but yeah, just a 3x3 in the corner or a 3x3 in the middle.
Got it. I need to be on a race. That's T-dub.
I usually put it as far away from the entrance door as possible. That way the haulers have less. They don't have to go as far to like drop stuff off or pick stuff up.
Got you.
So
So
yeah,
you put it down here?
You can put it up there. It's fine.
Okay.
Looks good to me.
There?
Yep. Perfect.
All right. And then back to place structure. And then we're going to go ahead. Workshops. And where's carpentry?
Go with the carpenter's workshop.
Carpenter's workshop. Why can't I see it here? Oh, there. Excuse me. There we go. Right there.
Perfect. And then it just shows the different materials. So dolomite is a type of rock, but dolomite's actually good to use for dolomite has uses outside of construction. So, I'd probably build it with the dolomite though. You can always get it back by deconstructing the workshop. So it's not like the resources are like locked up forever.
Got you. So we'll go ahead and select dolomite and off we go. Is that correct?
Looks good. Now that'll start to construct it.
Okay.
Although you might need to assign a woodworker because your woodworker died.
All right, let's see what happens.
I think you need a woodworker to build the workshop. But we'll see if you unpause it. We'll see if somebody starts building it or not.
Gotcha. Adventurers, please join me in welcoming our good friend Drake of the Wyvern's Lair and Knight of the Benhammer Moore and saying, is this Fortress mode? XVT says, I love seeing a new human become an Urist. All right, off we go. Urst. Okay, well, on pause. Let's see what happens.
Yep,
there we go.
Somebody's got the job.
Looks like they're maybe reassigning dwarves for our, just help us out.
Moving stuff out of the way. They built it. Right, perfect.
All right, click on the workshop.
Click on the workshop.
There we go. All right, your industrious citizens will perform any task added to the workshop. Most objects that are placed, like doors and furniture, must first be built in a workshop. Furniture created at the carpenter's workshop usually takes 1 wood to build. Add a task and make a bed. Chop down more trees if necessary. Unpause and wait for the bed to be completed. All right. Are you with me, Tom?
Even more consulting support in the chat. Thank
Oh.
you.
Says XPT says you don't need a woodworker to build a workshop unless you have it. The others can't do woodworking. Woodworking is an all dwarf job unless changed.
By default, I think that is true. Yep.
Gotcha.
So, that's cool.
All right.
That's good because otherwise it'd be kind of annoying if the tutorial doesn't let you reassign laborers until you're out of the tutorial. You could soft lock the game that way.
All right. So we got add and make a bed task, and now we just got to make the bed. Okay.
Yep. Beds are one of the few things that have to be made out of wood. Or at least you can't make them out of stone. You can make beds out of wood and you can make them out of metal. You can't make them out of stone. One of the few things that you can't. You can make almost anything else out of stone, like doors. Yeah, gotta be wood if you want a bed.
All right.
Or metal, but metal's expensive, obviously.
Now that you have a bed, you can place it in the fortress. Use the build menu to place it in an underground room, just like the workshop. Dig a new room first if you like. Beds are found in the furniture category. Unlike workshops, beds must be placed underground. Okay, so what would you advise here, Tom?
Yeah, often the easiest way to get started is to just make a little dormitory that's like a communal room with multiple beds in it. So, if you want to dig out, you can even technically use the hallway for that, but you would either dig out a room or you can just start a. I think you can define a room around a bed, so you can just dig a space for like a bedroom.
So would you extend the corridor and create like a living space or a sleeping space?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe like extend the corridor a bit, throw in a room that could be like a communal dormitory for anybody who happens to not have a bed. It's good not to get too caught up in like over planning the residential situation because you're gonna get migrants coming in and they're going to need quick beds, and just having a dormitory in general is kind of important.
Okay.
So people have somewhere to sleep while you're figuring out what to do with them.
Yeah. We'll go ahead and extend that corridor.
Yeah, we do need to get a casket going, XPT, but unfortunately we're kind of
Let's see if we can make
in the tutorial. We need to
see if we can make that casket. So to engage with the carpenter's workshop, I got to click on it. Hold on one second.
Did the bed get made yet already? I think it did.
Are you there, Tom?
Oh,
hello.
Still there.
Testing. Are you there, Tom?
There we go. Yeah, we're back.
Okay, gotcha. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm having to juggle my earbuds. I might need to go to a headset soon here. But yeah, so do I need to click on the carpenter's workshop?
I think if the bed already got made, then you can just place it as a. It's like it's got its own menu, so it's like a constructing. I think it's the construction.
Well, I'm looking to make a casket.
Oh right. Well, yeah, you can. I think you can build those out of wood. I think. Yeah, give it a try. Casket. You can start typing.
There we go.
Wooden casket.
Okay.
Quickest way to get one from where you're at, because otherwise you need to build a mason's workshop and make a stone one.
Gotcha. Okay. So that's it, and then we can right-click
out.
out.
Start building that.
Okay.
I don't know where we want to bury them, but probably not in the super communal area. So.
Like, make another offshoot.
Yeah, if you dig like a longer offshoot somewhere and just put a little like memorial space.
Okay.
Yeah, the burial system is kind of like the bedroom system, so like you can go extravagant or you can go very simple. Different. It depends. Like I think like certain very high level nobility dwarves will like demand like extravagant burial places while they're still alive. They'll like claim them in life. But otherwise, yeah, just stick a casket in like a hole somewhere and it's pretty much good to go.
Okay. So for our sleeping quarters, how big would you build it?
Um, uh, eh. Dormitory, I'm usually making it like 4x4 or something,
Four
like
by four. Okay.
not super big. I like it to feel somewhat cozy for
Okay.
them. I
Okay.
don't know if they care, but they prefer to have their own private bedrooms anyway. So being in a dormitory, kind of not ideal in the first place. But
So like
oh,
this?
they take what we give them. Yeah, that works as a start.
Okay.
Um,
All right.
what's good to keep in mind is not to have it too close to workshops that are going to be super noisy. So this
Oh.
is a good spot. It's more than 7 tiles away from like the carpenter's workshop,
We can put it
because
further away.
the workshops and stuff generate noise, and then that can wake up dwarves.
How do I cancel this order?
You can use the mining. I think it's yeah, it's got its own. Or can you right click
Remove
it?
mining.
Remove mining designation. That's right. It's its own menu. It's its own menu.
Oh man, I can't get at it though. That's interesting.
Really? Can't hit the X key?
Nope. I can. I guess we can get out of this tutorial. Or let's stay with the tutorial. I'll just go ahead and roll with it. Here we go. We'll just put this down.
Yeah, you can use it
Whatever.
for something else later.
Yeah,
It's all
exactly.
good.
We can repurpose
Or
the room.
expand it or whatever.
Mhm.
Reconstruct walls to fill it in how you like. Because these are rough hewn walls right now, but you can polish them and make them seem like they're. You can, yeah. There's 3 levels. There's rough stone, which is what the walls and floor are now. If you polish them, you get smooth stone, and then you can actually carve on them and make like, like motifs or whatever. You can make relief carvings into the walls, and they'll just like carve the history of the fortress into the walls and stuff.
Gotcha.
Kind of
So
cool.
we're ready to build that belt. Place the
Ready
bed.
to build that bed.
So we click here, and then we click on what did we do?
Furniture.
click-
Yep.
Furniture. Okay. And then bed. Right.
There's bed. Yep.
Okay.
Just stick it in there.
I'll put it here. Or yeah, I'll just put it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Maybe here in the corner. There we go.
And then,
Alright.
yeah, you're just picking which one you want to use. That's the only one we got.
All right. And now let's go ahead and create that I guess our cemetery.
Oh, yeah. Well, offshoot for your cemetery, yeah.
Where would you place the cemetery?
Probably. Personally, I'd dig pretty deep and put it out of the way.
Really? Okay.
Like almost like, just for me, I almost like dig to where like the first cavern would be, and like put it near the first cavern layer.
So we gotta dig some stairs then.
Yeah, you can put it wherever. You can just dig a hallway up here and put it off to the side somewhere where the dwarves won't pass it often when they're going on their normal business, because they can look at the casket and it makes them sad. They remember their dwarf friend and they get sad about it.
So you want to keep it out of the way. So
You want it to be there for respect for the dead, but you don't want to bum all your dwarves out.
right. So
Have
should
it
we
pass it all
place
the time.
should we place the beds here? I mean, sorry. Where would you place the stairwell going down to the first cavern?
You could either extend the current one or just start a new staircase at the bottom of this hallway.
Okay.
Gives you a little like almost entrance tunnel. This is kind of your buffer. You like go through this entrance hallway and then you go even deeper into the fortress. It's pretty easy to defend. Like I said, later on you could use this level for your military. So they can be near the surface in case trouble happens. But yeah, if you like started a new staircase at the bottom of this hallway, or even just continue the staircase back there. But
Sure,
I do like to break up the layout. I like to have some horizontal areas in between the surface and like the deepest parts of my fortress where like actual living spaces would be.
Okay.
Give yourself something defensible, because these staircases are dangerous because you can only see one level at a time. So enemies can just like go down the staircases really fast, and you might not even really see them do it. So forcing them to go through like a horizontal area like this gives you like a choke point. You can like, do something about it. Or
So how do we get to the staircase again?
oh, back to the mining menu.
Mining menu, staircases,
Yep.
and like over here.
Yep, you can place it on the
Okay.
and just go down a couple levels. Honestly,
Like here?
a little underground pond. Look at that.
Yeah. Right over here?
Yeah, keep going. Go further.
Oh.
Keep going deeper. Oh yeah, not up, but down. Go down, down, down. Yep. Keep going. Go to like elevation 45 or something. Go till you don't see any more surface on the minimap.
Ah, okay.
It goes pretty far, so
Like this.
yeah, this is good. This looks good.
Okay.
You just got nothing but wall to wall underground.
Okay.
Now this is where it does become handy to assign a hotkey, so you could like make F2 take you like down here to just hop around quickly, because then it can be annoying to go between the surface and your deepest levels.
With a
You're
bed
just
placed, your
scrolling.
workers will have somewhere to sleep. Later, you can create a room with a door and use the zones menu to assign an official bedroom for each resident. Okay. Got it.
Yeah. Oh, it didn't even ask you to make a dormitory out of it. That's all right.
The rest of the interface is
Oh,
now
they
enabled.
have enabled the rest of the interface. Woo!
Yeah. You can click on creatures and items just as you can click on buildings to get more information about them. Click on a resident to see their needs, inventory, thoughts, relations, and more. You can also access information for the citizens button. Okay, so let's go ahead and hit F1, pause, and let's go ahead and click on a resident. Oops, just kidding. I don't mean to do that. No. There we go. We should be able to click on a resident now, I guess. There we go.
Nice.
So this is Zuthan Morolod, Expedition
Love the
Leader. Okay. Zuthan, page days. Expedition Leader, no job. 84 years old. Disdains cooperation. That's not good in a leader. Values eloquence. Disdains friendship. Also probably not great in an expedition leader. Good spatial sense. Disdains decorum. Resists sickness. Healthy. Expedition Leader, squad done. Dabbling discipline. Adequate organizer. Unmet needs. Stay occupied. Make merry, craft object, be with family, hear eloquence, practice skill. Building friendships is a waste. There is no bond that can withstand distance or a change of circumstance. She felt empathy discussing a friend's problems. She was relieved discussing her problems with a friend. She was horrified seeing Kubik Wheelhug's dead body. She was horrified. So she's seen his body a number of times and was horrified by it. All right, we have some more information here. The rest of the interface is now, okay, got you. Closed information sheet, so let's go ahead and close that. There we go. Alerts. Important and sometimes urgent information is given as alerts on the left side of the screen. There have been several already. Hover over an alert icon to see information. Left-click on an alert for recentering options, and right-click to dismiss an alert. Okay. There is an example urgent alert. These are very important. Ignore them at your peril. Okay, there we go. Done. Preparing for the caravan. You may need supplies before the coming of winter to trade with the autumn caravan. You must build a trade depot from the build menu. You need something of value to trade. Crafts are an easy way to make a lot of trade goods quickly. Make the appropriate workshop with workshop crafts. An obvious material to use to make the crafts is rock. If you dig down enough layers, you will find a near infinite amount of boulders of various kinds, as well as some rough gems if you are lucky. Gems can be cut at the jeweler's workshop. Encrust them on crafts and other items to add even more value. Okay. Just the beginning. There's a lot more to learn. As you enter new menus, there'll be information and tips. The help button at the top of the screen contains more guides. Click on it now and this tutorial will be concluded. Okay, go ahead and click there. And there we go. Survival, planting, bins, happiness, all the tutorials you could imagine. The game is open-ended and you can do whatever you choose. If you like a goal, try to become a barony and then a mountain home. More likely, your doors will starve unless you read the first few guides here. And remember, losing is fun. There we go.
Losing is fun. Awesome. Now you have full freedom, so let's just take care of the most pressing business and get this corpse in a casket.
Sure.
You'll place the casket like you place furniture, so once you're at the bottom of this stairwell, you can just dig in some random direction. Oh, yeah, finish mining you. You can just dig some random direction away from here, and
okay.
I usually just treat them like little bedrooms. You make a little outcrop room and like put the casket in there.
Okay.
That's usually pretty respectful. You still haven't hit the first cavern layer, so.
Oh, I haven't?
No, that's okay. You definitely can do it here. I'm just saying somewhere deeper. If you dig deep enough, you'll eventually hit the cavern layer. But you won't know you've hit it until you've like revealed it. So you won't know you've hit it until you've broken in.
So let's go ahead and cancel this. Can we cancel it?
No, I mean, you can cancel it, but it's okay to do it here. I mean,
No, it's okay. So this will cancel the mining order here?
yeah, they will have this little room that they already dug, but that's all right.
That's fine.
You can fill it in later if you really want to.
There we go. Okay. And then let's go ahead and dig more stairs. So let's just make sure we are on the right tile. Oh.
You want to start it from the stairs, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because otherwise, this is like placing it underground already. They need to like break into that layer by starting it on this layer.
So, okay, got it. So I click here, highlight these stairs, right? And then I go down?
Yep. And honestly, like if you run, you just go till you hit the bottom. And you'll definitely find the cavern then, and then it'll probably pause automatically when you break into the cavern, so you'll be able to.
This is elevation 1, elevation 0, -1.
Negatives. Don't worry. Don't worry. There's plenty.
Wow.
Yep.
Super deep.
Elevation 0, I think, is supposed to be sea level.
How do I know when I've hit bottom? There. That's it. I can't go any further.
Yeah,
is that it?
You know.
That's the first cavern?
They definitely won't be able to get this low, but they'll definitely hit the cavern layer.
Okay, so go ahead and complete this order?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, it's gonna surely
see, we had a
pause it
couple
when they
alerts
break
here.
into something.
It's example alert. Okay, done. You struck Praise Opal.
That's a gem. Nice.
How do we go to it?
I think, yeah, there's a button that centers on the location.
So it's here.
So yeah, it's on the wall there. You can see.
Got you. Okay.
You can designate mining there and see how far it goes.
Okay. Should we go ahead and do that?
Well, yeah, they're gonna finish digging out the stairwell, and you're gonna run into the cavern. But yeah, probably good to place at least a quick mining designation here so you remember.
Okay. Like that?
Yeah.
Okay. How large did you make it?
Yeah, that looks good.
Okay.
If you want to be really efficient with your exploration, you can like dig just little single diagonal squares, because that will give you the most like visual coverage of the neighboring tiles. But
oh, I'll do that. Yeah, let's teach me how to do that.
yeah, just to place one mining at a time. Start with that gem square and
like that.
Just a 1 by 1, and then place another diagonally from it.
Diagonally, like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just.
We'll just do that for the time. Okay. Yeah.
That'll kind of let you see the most while digging up the least.
Got you.
Because you just need some tile adjacent in order to see everything around you.
Okay. Let's do that. Let's start with that there. XBT says, now that the game is open, you should assign more doors to mining and a new wood chopper. You do this on the hammer icon on the bottom left bar. Okay. Off we go.
Yeah, probably need a
new
menu.
Certainly
a new wood cutter.
All right. So how should we do this?
5? No, we got 6. Where's the 6th? Oh no, that's all 6. I'm just blind. Okay.
So how would you do this?
Who would we want to be the new woodcutter? Probably the fisher, I guess, because they go outside a lot.
Okay, we can assign him.
So this would be, yeah, you just assign mining, assign wood cutting, and maybe make them. I would give the mason and the metal crafter the mining jobs.
Okay, how do I remove the mining job from the fisher dwarf?
Go back to the miners section.
Okay.
And you can just take away from the fisher dwarf. Yep.
Done.
And then give it to the mason and the metal crafter, because they tend to be working with that stuff.
Okay.
They tend to be in the area.
And that looks good?
Looks good to me.
No one else to assign?
I mean, not at the moment.
Okay.
If you find nobody's doing the thing you want them to do, you can revisit this menu and make sure somebody's got the job.
Couldn't we assign like these extras to be miners, or that's not a good idea?
We only have 3 pickaxes in the...
Oh, only 3 pickaxes. Got it.
Yeah. If we get more pickaxes, then we can have more miners.
Understood. Okay. XPT says I would make the planter the woodcutter.
Good. For me, usually planters, especially if you only have one, once you get them going, they're gonna pretty much be occupied doing that.
Okay, we'll keep the Fisher Dwarf assigned to such. All right, so we right-click off this menu.
The planter will probably be fully occupied planting once you set up a farm.
Okay, let's go ahead and dismiss that. Tech code, Emerson, cancel store item. Okay, let's go and find out what the heck's going on here.
Yeah, so every skill has basically every skill can be leveled up. So the better your miner is, the more likely they will get a gem or a boulder from mining. So otherwise they like break the gems or whatever because they are not skilled enough to get them out.
Maybe Takud was injured in the falling log.
Wait, sorry?
Maybe Takud was wounded.
Mason was wounded.
We can look at him now because he was the one who was unconscious.
We look at. They are working for us though.
Okay,
so
gotcha. So it's looking good.
It can't be that bad.
Nope. Okay, let's just pause and find out where we are here.
Kinda.
To see where we're at. There we go.
Go. Yep. Still working on it.
Okay.
Like watching a progress bar, kinda. There's two of them working, so they're going as fast as they can, pretty much.
Adventurers, please join me in welcoming my great friend Isnbad, saying this is false advertising. Fortress mode, I demand a refund. Hey, Yazan, man, I haven't heard your voice in a minute. You want to jump in to Discord with myself and Tom just for a few minutes? If you have any background in Dwarf Fortress, you just want to catch up. Isnbad's my great friend from the UK. He's been a big part of our community for years now.
Nice.
On pause. We're just letting time progress. We're just waiting. We got
I'm surprised they haven't hit a cavern yet.
We have struck Red Flash Opal. Let's take a look.
Gems.
Here?
Probably on the level above it.
Okay, so...
maybe the level above that. I don't see any red flash opal.
That's weird. This should be the level.
Maybe, oh, you know what? It might have been a single tile of them on the stairs themselves.
Okay.
So it could be like just one tile. You'll get an announcement for each new type of rock. So you won't get one for every gem, but you'll get one when there's like a new kind of gem or it's been a while.
Got it.
Oh, there they
are.
There they are. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there's the cavern.
Discovered an expansive cavern deep underground. That is so
Caverns
cool.
Are cool.
So cool.
I think, yeah, it's probably the opening is one level down.
Okay.
Oh yeah, this is a cool place to
going to
mine for gems.
Yep.
Right inside the walls of the cavern.
Izan says, yep, play the hell out of this since the early days. I'd love to, but I'm already in bed, mate. I will watch a while in the background, though. It's been a long day. I hear you, Izan. We should get together soon. I'll probably be doing regular Dwarf Fortress streams with Argembarger here. So maybe you can catch us at the top of the next one. We'll probably be streaming on the weekends. So hopefully a good time for you to tune in. And Argembarger is going to be, he's going to be teaching me how to be a Dwarven Lord here over the next several weeks here at the Wyvern's Lair. All right, so we stuck our red opals.
Rusty intermediate player.
There's our caverns. And now what do you want to do as far as the cemetery?
Another level. It's the opening that you... The only way to see the cavern is to actually break into it, so it must be further down. We must have some spot where... Yeah, okay, so our stairs just open into the air.
Oh.
See, like we broke through the ceiling of the cavern. So
right.
You would have to, in order to... You
like
would have
here?
to construct stairs. You would have to actually build stairs on those two tiles. Because that's not like space you can carve into. It's open space.
And that's what you want to do, right?
That is... I would probably... I'd prefer to have an opening into the cavern that's like horizontal, personally.
So what do you mean horizontal? Like this?
Like instead of in just like walking downstairs and suddenly you're in the middle of the cavern room, like coming out of a hallway into the cavern. That way you can like lock the doors, and you don't have like if you break immediately into the cavern via the stairs. Right now it's okay because it's like on the ceiling, so there's no immediate way for somebody to like jump up into the stairs here from the cavern.
Okay.
But like, yeah, if you built the stairs to connect it, then you sort of would have to defend those stairs.
Okay. So what's the play here?
I would probably go in, yeah, like break into the cavern in somewhere else along the stairway here, and get. I would personally get underneath that one and build walls there just to block it off from my mind, so I don't have to worry about stuff like that can fly, because some stuff can fly. So if there's a monster in the cavern that can fly, then it currently has a way to get into your fortress. But I think it should be safe enough. I don't check the right now. Check the creatures menu. Like it should show all of the creatures currently in the area.
Where's the creatures menu?
Should be place in. I thought it was place information.
All right, there we go.
Or yeah, creatures. So, check the. Oh yeah, the other. You're in Citizens tab right now, but other Great Horned Owl. Okay, yeah, I don't see any. There are no creatures in the cavern as of now, so the first cavern layer is always peaceful enough. You shouldn't. I would be surprised if you got like screwed by something. Also, wait. It looks like this cavern doesn't have any connections to the side of the map. Can you like go down and up and just kind of check out the layout of the? I want to identify if it reaches the edge of the map anywhere, because that would be where you gotta really defend it.
Like this? This is what you're talking about?
Yeah, but like this is just one level of it, so we want to kind of go down, and you can just look at the mini map and just like go down elevation and
okay.
See if
that's what you meant.
Yeah, the mini map will show if it's connecting to the edge of the world. So
like this?
Just like, yeah, is it the rock bottom? I guess this must be the rock bottom. Oh no, yeah.
I don't know what.
It looks like the bottom. I mean, elevation -7 doesn't have anything, so it looks like you got a safe, self-contained cavern here.
Oh, that's cool.
So you might not have to worry at all. You just have a little peaceful, big open area.
A little cavern pocket beneath our fortress.
Yeah, you gotta watch out for the connections to the edge of the map, because that's where trouble comes from.
Gotcha. Isn't bad says glad to catch a stream. Glad to have you here, Izan. I've missed you, my good friend. And yeah, actually, something that I'm talking to Tom about here is sort of like a co-op playthrough of Dwarf Fortress. So the idea is that we'd sort of hand off our save and we'd stream it on our respective channels over time. You're a dear friend of mine, so maybe we could, get into a DM group and talk about that, Izan. It would be kind of a fun project. I know you occasionally stream on your end when you have the time. XPT says, if you want a third person on Discord to help you teach, I am available. I appreciate that, XPT. I do. I have a sort of a general rule. I'm very careful about who I invite to be with me live on stream over Discord. So hang out with us here at the Wyvern's Lair. Let me have a chance to get to know you better as a community member. And there's always that opportunity for me to invite you on a future stream. Izan says you could construct walls around the staircase too, so you can fortify the stairs that way. Mm-hmm. All right. So what is your orders, Dwarf Captain?
Yeah, so let's choose where we want to break into the cavern, like horizontally. Is then or I guess yeah, let's undesignate all the rest of this staircase, because
oh, okay.
Like,
how do we do that?
Use the mining menu. It will have the eraser.
The mining menu.
Or the yeah, it should be under the mining menu. Is it the last one? Oh, no, that unconstruct stuff. Okay, yeah, I think it's just the eraser. Yeah.
Okay. And we do it from the cavern level.
Canceling a designation versus unconstructing a building.
There we
is
go.
Very subtle
So we're going to go ahead.
Yeah, looks good. You got a good sense of the spatial, the slices of vertical space here.
is this the correct thing? I'm deleting all
Yeah,
these
you're doing it.
staircases.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
So that's
I
it.
just want to get it so we don't forget about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No,
Whoa.
did that do it? I think you had to click again. Oh, it didn't go deep enough.
Didn't
Okay,
go
okay.
deep enough. Okay. So let's go back. Okay. So we got to cancel more orders here, right? So
28. Yep.
okay. Boom.
Grab that one. Just go down to the don't see it no more.
Okay.
Go so
There.
deep.
That's it.
There we go.
Boom.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go. Now we don't have a lingering thing that we forgot about, and then they'll randomly start mining it, and then who knows what kind of mischief will happen.
Okay. So here we are.
Yeah, let's identify with our staircase. Let's find the most rational place to break into this cavern from. This could be a good level to do it. Let's like dig over sideways to get to one of these walls. You see the way the ramp is. So this is actually like a solid space over the. Like you see how the area to the right of the stairs there is like a downward slope.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like open air. You'd want to connect to some place where it's just a solid wall with ground.
I'm noticing something here. Like, what are these things?
Those? The little, can't see the mouse on the
Here,
Discord.
I'll
that
scroll
is
it up.
Yeah, the cave spider silk and a cave swallow remains. So you got some bird hunting spiders down here.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Cave swallows getting hunted by cave spiders.
Gotcha. Okay.
Kind of cool. Yeah, so I like maybe not this level then, because it's like surrounded by downward facing. Go up another level.
Go up.
Yeah. The elevation -4. This could be a good spot, like straight to the left.
Straight to the left. Okay.
Bust in wall over there.
Okay. And how wide do you want this to be?
Maybe just one by one. Make it like a choke point. So
Like this?
yeah, if you do have trouble come through, then you could, if you could put a door here and lock the door potentially, then they would have to bust through the door.
Okay, they can destroy doors.
They can.
Gotcha. XBT says, your response to my offer was good. Thanks for actually talking to me and not just ignoring. Of course, XBT. I've really enjoyed your presence here on the stream. XBT says, if you look at the cavern floor here in the cavern layer, it's moss or lichen or some type of fungus. And I think, and that is the best place to farm. Gotcha.
That is true. It is a really convenient way to start farming.
Well, we could do that. It's a good suggestion. So anyway, let's go ahead and build.
Especially because this cavern is not connected to the edge of the map, so it should be as safe as they come.
Okay, let's go ahead and start mining that. Izan says, don't forget, it's fun to lose. I know. Losing is just the beginning, because then we can create our adventure and find out what we lost.
That's right. And it's always like they try to respect how you actually died. So if it's goblin invasion, then either the goblins will loot everything, or they'll choose to stay and like build their new base out of your fortress. Or if it's a dragon, usually the dragon moves on and just like leaves a bunch of lesser treasure and just takes the best stuff for itself.
All right, we got
as dragons do.
As dragons do. We have this corridor constructed.
So yeah, let's check out. I think this should be connected to that bottom of the staircase. Let's just to show how it's done. Let's build walls underneath the bottom of the staircase. That way, there's not just like opening into a hole in the ground. Yeah. So like go down 2 more, I think. Yeah. So here, those 2 tiles right there. Let's designate walls to get built here.
Okay.
Just to seal that up a little bit.
How do I designate walls?
It's gonna be a yep. No, that's smoothing, engraving. It's a construction, so it'll be like construct. Yeah.
Constructions. Make terrain.
Oh no, this is like workshops and stuff. Okay. It's No, constructions. It is here. Constructions. Yeah, constructions.
Wall.
Yep, and then wall.
And where do you want me to build this wall?
1 level under these stairs.
Like here?
1 level down. Yep, right there.
Okay.
Yeah, I just don't like holes.
Gotcha.
left in my fortress.
And
And
what
choose your
what
pick
should
the
I
one
choose?
with least distance.
Oh, the one with the least distance. Okay, got you. Can we sort it by distance? Yeah, I guess it's already pre-sorted by distance, right?
Yep, yep.
Okay, do right. So we
Dio
don't have
right.
enough.
No, you got two. You
So,
just gotta click it again.
oh, did that work?
Good. Yeah, they're working on it.
Okay.
So as long as there's some path to this spot, then they'll start working on it. Should be a masonry job, I think. So your mason should be taking care of it.
Do we have a mason?
Yeah, they got the mining labor, but they are a mason.
So will they perform that job?
Check the it's under. I think it's under. Check the engravers. Check the stonecutters labor section. Stone use. It's a different tab.
Stone use.
Stone use. It's at the top.
Top.
It's a different tab.
Let me take a look for it. Where can I find it?
Click through these other tabs.
Standing orders.
Yeah, we do need more wood. That's definitely a good call out, but we'll get to that.
Stone use. There we go.
Stone use. Yeah. No, never mind. This is just like, which stones am I allowed to use?
All right. I guess we'll give it a few minutes and see if this constructs.
Yeah, I think the mason should take care of it, because the problem is there might not be a path. There might not currently be a path here.
Oh, that could be
So
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
so if there's not a path there, then we may need to like go to where we're currently in the cavern and like cut our way over to that one. But all these ramps and stuff, the dwarves can go down the ramps. So I think there should be a path, but
Okay,
yeah,
got
yeah.
you. XPT says, unless you explore the cavern more thoroughly, you don't know if it's connected to the end of the map or not. So you might have beasts down there eventually. A little bit of a warning for us.
Figure out if we're connected to the edge.
And he says if there wasn't a path there, you would not be allowed to place it. Okay. So
Yeah, these like mushroom trees are kind of cool. You got like these like multi-tile mushroom trees.
right? Huge mushroom trees. That's really cool. It's a nice little touch.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
Okay, let's see.
What's this big brown area? Is that the little things to the? Yeah, that's a tower
Mushroom.
trap. Yeah, so that is a huge mushroom. Yeah,
That's
that's a
fantastic.
huge mushroom.
All right. So anyway, let's go back to that corridor that we were building.
Grew around the column of the wall.
Let's see where.
Yeah,
Oh my
I
gosh.
just gotta identify where they're actually able to walk down there and do that.
Where's
But
my
you
little
can like
staircase?
designate all these little cave things for harvesting, and there's like food, and it looks like there might be ponds down here. There could be cave fish.
There we go. I'm
Not
looking for my
sure.
staircase. Okay. So let's see.
That's a very complex cavern.
Oops.
Oh,
Sorry. There we go. Okay. So what we were doing here?
we were just we punched through to the cavern. Is this? Now we were just looking for how they might actually navigate to that. Can you go down one level?
Okay. So we're going to -5. There we go.
Down.
This is -6.
Yeah, so there's one level down, and that ramp keeps going. Okay, it looks like they can get there. Looks like they don't have a problem. They just walk down that ramp.
And then where are we building the casket place?
The casket can go, we can put it down here in the cave somewhere, or we can, dig out a little chamber near the cave. Just like to keep them deep and out of the way, basically. So, like, it's usually I be putting my dead dwarves somewhere near where all the mining and exploration is happening. So, like, in the cavern or near the cavern. Usually it's good to just carve out like a catacomb, like just to have like a little hallway somewhere where you put the caskets and little offshoots, because then you can like smooth it out and like make it nicer.
Sure.
And sometimes I think you need caskets to avoid ghosts, but I think depending on the dwarf, you have to like give it a appropriate amount of high quality high quality burial, or else they'll be salty with you anyway.
XPT says on -5, on elevation -5, there's a 3x3 block with obsidian and diamonds. There might be fun inside.
Ooh.
Be careful. Good eyes. Let's take a look at that -5. So what's he referring to? What are they referring to? What did they catch that? I wonder. This is the level.
3x3 block.
A 3x3 block. Some
Some
gems there. Oh, red opals. Must have been near
gems, but I'm not seeing. Maybe it's
obsidian
down the bottom,
cavern
right?
floor. Maybe this is what they're referring to.
Oh, it is obsidian. Interesting. Interesting.
On the north right of the staircase, next to the mushroom tree. Okay, let's take a look. So this is the mushroom tree.
Oh.
Red opal.
Oh wait, is that it? To the left?
Oh,
That
rough-hewn obsidian wall.
obsidian
Blue diamond
wall,
cluster.
diamond
Green
cluster.
diamond cluster.
Interesting. Yeah, you gotta kinda. It's a real gamble. Like you wanna like scrape off one tile of some nice stuff and maybe harvest some diamonds, but you might break into something you don't want to break into.
We'll leave that alone.
Yeah, wait till we got a military we can order to defend us if we. And military is probably gonna have to be next stream at least. We might spend all of next stream just setting up farming.
I think so. I think we do have to sort of. It is getting a little late on your end.
Let's do the burial though. Let's get this dwarf buried so
That
we
sounds
don't
good.
forget to do it next time.
That sounds good. All right. So how should we bury this dwarf?
My vote is like this hallway here. Just dig a couple small rooms to the north of it. Put the casket in one of those.
North
Build
of
it out of this hall. Build it out of this hallway leading to the cavern.
Okay. So
Just kind of cut out some.
which north are we talking about? So this is the level that we should do it.
This hallway here leading to the left from the stairs. I would dig out some little casket nooks out of this hallway here.
Oh, okay. Got you.
The one that you dug into the cavern. Yeah.
Okay.
Just me, just my aesthetics as a Dwarf Fortress player. I'm like, yeah, dwarves probably think it's cool to be buried near the cavern, and
Right. That's actually a really good thought. So, would you build these alcoves to the north or south of this corridor?
I would build to the north. There's a little more space that way. And
Okay. And how big should the room be?
you can, 2x2 at the most.
2x2.
Just a little room
Okay.
where the casket can be, and
Like this?
yeah.
So-
But like a one tile for the door,
One tile for
or
the door.
just the doorway. It doesn't have to be a door.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
make
like
a little 2x2 with a gap.
with a gap
To the tunnel, and then dig like a one tile to
for the
connect
door.
it. Yeah,
Okay. Like that. Correct?
good start. Yep, and you
Okay.
can make it like a little square room back there.
XPT says expensive diamonds, but there might be lava and there might be demons. Okay, off we go. Let's go ahead and mine that.
Yep. We'll get this going, and then as soon as they dig that out, you can stick the casket in there as a construction.
And I think that'll be our first stream in the books.
Yeah, I can't believe your woodcutter died cutting wood. The first tree in the entire embark.
I know.
I've never seen a woodcutter dumb enough to get crushed by their own tree. Honestly, I've never seen that. maybe they had really poor spatial sense. Like
All right.
that legitimately really poor spatial sense might have led to this.
So am I doing
Yep,
the right
yep,
thing?
Exactly. Yep, you're doing the right thing.
And how do I
exactly.
know I have this?
It's when it's placed, you'll select the material.
Okay. Oh, there we go.
So
We
you'll
have
just
one.
Click and yep.
And then how do I get the body in there?
Once it's placed, once the casket is placed, then you can click on it and it'll let you designate a room. You can assign it basically
Got you.
to the dwarf. So
XPT
it'll take them
says-
a bit to haul the.
Don't forget to make a tomb assignment, or the dwarves will
Yeah.
not bury the dwarf. Okay.
Yeah,
there
once
we
the
go.
casket's up, we can assign the tomb around it.
It's done.
Yep. So now we can click on it.
Click on the casket.
Yeah. Or just define a room around it.
You must
Yeah, here we
designate a
go,
tomb
and
before
then-
this coffin will be used for burial. Okay.
Okay, so maybe we check that little house button.
The house
It
button.
was on when you were clicked into the casket.
Okay.
There was a little house button.
There we go.
I think
This
you
is-
can do rooms.
Okay, so click on the house.
Can't designate rooms from here. All right, that's fine. We'll just designate a room the normal way. So that room designation is sort of like stockpile, but it's a different. I think it's the green square with the dwarf in it.
Okay. Place zones to establish meeting areas,
zones.
pastures, and more. Okay.
Yeah, and then tomb. Yep.
Tomb. Gotcha. Okay. Zones are areas you designate where your citizens will work, socialize, rest, or perform specific duties. There are several kinds of zones which you can see in the panel on the left. Zones are placed much like stockpiles. Unlike stockpiles, multiple zones can overlap. Certain zones, like bedrooms, can be placed several at a time. Just make sure you have the correct furniture placed in the rooms with doors or vertical entries separating each room before you begin. Okay.
Yep. So if you hit OK.
Click in the play area or paint the zone. So there we go.
So something to keep in mind is that the walls also count for the room. So you can paint the room on like the first level of tiles touching the room. And that adds the wall to like the value of the room.
Okay.
So like if you place it just on one tile where the casket is, the tomb is a 1x1 tomb, but you can actually designate the walls around it as part of the tomb as well. But it doesn't really matter. It's just a detail. So go ahead and paint a tomb.
What would you usually do? Just paint the
I usually give it the walls.
The walls like this?
Smooth. Yeah, like if you include the tiles around it, you can paint in multiple. Like you can designate this and then paint some more.
How large would you make this initial tomb?
I would make it a 3x4 surrounding the open space.
3x4.
Like,
okay.
The corner to the top left of the casket down to like the right of the doorway.
Okay. All right.
Because it's not like that important, but like if you're placing a bedroom, for example, it's just a free way to increase the value of the room because you're including the walls in the equation.
Gotcha.
Yeah, what you had was perfect. So just the little square down. Yeah, that one.
Okay. Done.
That looks like a tomb.
Okay.
And then I think if you hit OK.
Okay.
Accept. There's an accept button.
Unnamed tomb. We can name it the tomb of what was the character's name that died? How do we find that information?
I think it's there's a button to designate. I think and it might already be done. It might have designated by default. If you hover over some of these other buttons, unassigned deceased citizens will be buried here automatically. Yeah, so it'll bury them automatically. And once they're buried, you can see their name and you can rename it if you want.
Got it. Okay, so this is correct, right? This is good.
Yeah.
So we right-click off it?
Yeah, just close the menu. It should be good.
And how do we know if someone's buried there?
They should get to going on that. They ought to. You can go back to where the body was and see if they picked it up yet.
Okay, let's go
hit
F1.
Yep.
So they
they picked up the body.
Okay.
Looks like.
And how do we get
a shoe behind? Is that a shoe?
Let's take a look. Wait. Yes. So it's a shoe. How sad.
The tree landed on it, and all that was left was the shoe.
The shoe.
Like the Wizard of Oz.
All right.
It looks like they're doing it, but we'll go back to check out the casket and make sure it gets done. Because the last thing we want is ghosts.
No, we do not want ghosts. So we're at minus elevation 5, I guess, or 6.
We got enough problems without ghosts running around.
Minus 5. Where is that? Construction. Minus 4. There we go. This is it.
Yeah, that's the one. So
click the door facing the bar to the bottom, and you can see what people are doing.
There they go. There they got them.
How do you know?
I just watched the dwarf walk over and do it.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're right. Okay, let's click on it.
Yep,
There we
yep.
go.
So,
Now we can
yeah.
rename it.
Yep. So, Hubuk. Koltalol.
The Tomb of Kubuk. How do I get that hyphenate over the U? You no
I
idea.
couldn't tell you.
I gotcha.
I'm sure there's some
Right.
keyboard alt command to do it.
Right.
I don't know.
The Tomb of Colt Alul, the woodworker.
Yeah, only one of their family at the site.
Oh, that's
The
it.
worst, the worst woodcutter ever lived.
That's funny.
Here lies a dummy.
This is the resting
And
place.
there's already a skeleton, so it's good that we got this done.
Has it been renamed properly?
Yeah, I think so. If you
Yeah,
back
there we
out
go.
and- yeah.
This furniture is part of Unnamed Tomb. Interesting. I can't.
But the tomb. Oh, the casket. You named the casket. I see. It's like the casket of Koltolul. If you go back to the rooms menu, or the
So, the casket.
whatever it's called, zones.
Okay, let's go
This is
here.
a building. It's the you can name the casket inside the tomb. Yeah.
Got it. The
Very
casket.
very high detail there. Very specific.
All right. So, how do we rename the tomb?
Yeah, go back to the if you close this menu, we go back to the zones.
Zones. Okay.
And you can select it once you got the zones thing open.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Click here.
And-
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, and then if you click on it, yep, now you can name the tomb. Yep.
That's so cool. Little flourishes like that. I like that. That's awesome.
Yeah, the game will kind of remember these things, and
There we
if
go.
something important happens in this tomb, then it'll be like, yeah, you got killed by a monster in the tomb, the specific named tomb.
Argembarger,
Let's
I
say
had the
protected
world,
ourselves from ghosts.
the world of a time discovering Dwarf Fortress with you. Thank you so much for spending some of your Saturday here. I'm thinking that I'll reach out to you and see, what kind of more manageable sessions we can schedule with you on the weekends that you're
Make
available.
sure you don't hit retire the fortress.
No.
Your mouse is over it. It's making me nervous.
Yeah. And we're going to, we're going to, I think that there's a lot more to learn, and I'm so glad you're willing to teach me. So in episode 2, we're going to focus on...
Unfortunately, does take a little bit of help to get you the critical mass of knowledge to take it and run on your own.
Right, to become an
It's
Urist.
a lot.
That's XPT saying. So for our episode 2 of this Dwarf Fortress, you're going to want to focus on teaching me how to farm and what else?
Gonna do farming. That will probably... I think we can also set up a basic... we should probably get migrants by the time... Because usually the first wave of migrants comes in the summer. So we will probably have enough to do just setting up farming, probably bedrooms, dealing with the new migrants. If things are dangerous, we can... if something happens where we get, goblins show up, then I will walk you through setting up an emergency militia. But that would be really bad if we got invaded this early. So hopefully we'll have a calm summer and we can get our first wave of migrants, make sure everybody's got a bedroom and we have basic food coming in and a place for them to eat. And beer. We need to set up booze. That's probably the overriding concern. Yeah, I think next time will be all farming and booze. We'll get them self-sufficient on that level. That
sounds exciting. XVT says you need a tavern and a temple.
Yep, tavern. They need a temple. That is something that's a newer need. The dwarves' spiritual needs. And it's really cool because all the dwarves that come will potentially worship different deities. So when we get our migrant wave, we may have to deal with some new deities. And the quickest way around that is just to designate a temple as a non-denominational. That's the best way. It's kind of like having a dormitory with beds for anybody who doesn't have a bedroom. And then if you get multiple dwarves of the same faith, then it can be good to give them their own specific temple for their deity. But yeah,
XVT say dwarves need a place to sing and dance and be happy, and temples because the gods are fickle.
That's right. The taverns are also cool because they can become, if you make it so the tavern is connected to the surface, you can get adventurers visiting your tavern, which is awesome. That's a really great feature of the game. Like, your
Argembarger
tavern will become a well-known place that travelers will stop at.
That sounds good. I can't wait to dive into session 2 with you here. Argenberger, I had a great time with you, also known as Tom, the Mountain King. Thank you so much for joining us here at the Wyvern's Lair. I really enjoyed discovering more of Dwarf Fortress with you, and I'm looking forward to more Dwarf Fortress discovery with you in the future. All the adventures here in the live stream chat, XBT isn't bad. Everyone who dropped on by, thank you all for your time here with us. I always appreciate it when people join us. And XBT, thank you for your advice here. It's very welcome. Please join us for the next session. We'll probably be next weekend. So hope to see you then. And with that, I'm going to say farewell and happy adventuring. Goodbye, everyone.
Yeah, this has been great. Bye.